Yeah. Yes. I got it. First time I see him, a smiling yeah. Well, hello there. Hello. Howdy. I didn't know you guys would be there. What's up? Oh, anyways. Man, my camera's all fucked up. What the hell? What the fuck? Okay. Maybe. Anyways. I saw some guys. Everybody's live tonight. Everybody's live. And I thought most of these people suck balls. So give the people what they really want, and that's pizzle. Anyways, it is the toilet bowl. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. First of all, can y'all hear me? Everybody good? Everybody hear me good? Everybody hear me fine? I'm going to be honest. Watching this game, watching this first half, I am just beyond embarrassed that the New York Giants couldn't beat these fucking teams. I'm just, it makes me want to make a post-game video just to eat crow for beating or losing to these teams again. Like, it's just a joke watching these two teams play. And my favorite football team, granted, let's be fair here. Both games, we played them on the road, right? Like, that does matter. I know people don't think it matters, but it does fucking matter. I feel like when we play these teams at home, the Giants should beat them. But then again, like, what the hell? I mean, both these teams stink so bad that I don't get it. I don't understand it. But here's what I do know. What I do know is neither one of these teams is supposed to be rebuilding this year. They're supposed to be championship quality, and they trash. Both teams are trash, and I can't believe the Giants lost these two teams. I'm embarrassed. I'm actually just embarrassed, but I'm also embarrassed for the content, Giants content that some of you guys have to watch here on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. That's a different topic, different discussion. But nevertheless, I just don't. I just wish the Giants would find a way to win tomorrow night, because if they could just get going, there's no way in the hell that they wouldn't win this division. I mean, the Giants, I mean, honestly, I'm going to be honest. I think the best. Let me figure out how to word this. It's weird because each team has each of the four teams each have something that's really good. Like the Redskins, I call them the Redskins still. They probably have the best D line of the four teams, right? The Cowboys probably have the best receiver group of the four teams. I still think, call me crazy, but I still think the Giants have the best quarterback of the four teams. Nola got, yo, Pizzle, I saw your what? Oh, no, it wasn't a parlay, Nola. It wasn't a parlay. That was just separate games. That wasn't a parlay. I don't know who's got the point I was getting at was that each team has something over all the other teams. But I think that the Giants, as crazy as this sounds, I think the Giants have the best overall defense of the four teams. But I can't sit there and brag about it because we got one win. You know, so it's like it's really frustrating. So, but anyways, yeah. And here's the thing, like Eagle fans love to talk shit. What's up, Lady Steel? If you guys want to give me a shout out, just say what's up. Is Bruno in Brazil? What's up, Bruno? Fucking Brazil. Like the Eagles tonight should be embarrassed. And I know we've already lost to them, and it's a joke that we did lose to them. But seriously, the Eagles should be fucking embarrassed tonight. Like it's a joke that they're fucking around with the Cowboys with a quarterback that still should be in college. What's up, MXF Cam YT? What's up, Gmin 409? What's up, Chris Olgi? What? I don't know. I don't. What, oh, poor JD. I'm sorry, JD. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. What's up, Sox, Arizona? What's up, Afghanistan? What's up, AKKD? I don't have a last name. Well, that's unfortunate. What's up, YT Snack 420? Olgie. I think I was close. Do you think the Giants should be 3-4? At least, MX. What's up, David? At least we should be 3-4. I'm sorry. AK Wild A3. My bad. My bad. What's up? Look, let me hold on. Let me get my shit fixed, and we'll I'll share the link. We'll mix it up in here. Yo, Pizzle, man, Eagles losing feels like we winning. It's bad. I don't know what that means, Eagle. I can't break down that English like you just. I can't break that down. Yeah, that's right. Evan Ingram would have dropped some cases. Okay. Shit. All right. So here's the deal. All right. So Let's mix it. Let's mix it up. Eagles at midfield right now, driving on these Cowboys. Let's mix it up. You guys want to come on, say hello, say what's up? Come into the stream yard. Come into the yard. Mix it up with Pizzle while we watch this game. Mix it up. Y'all come in, say what's up. You sipping tomorrow. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be sipping. Oh, I thought the Eagles fumbled. Cam, Pizzle, do you think Giants or Redskins can win the division? Absolutely. Absolutely I do. Absolutely. Absolutely we do. All right, so let's get this thing. Hey, hold on. My shit's fucked up. Hang on. All right, Sox, Arizona. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
Man, look at that. Look at them locks you got.
Yeah.
Man, show them the lettuce. Show it off.
Yes, sir.
Show it off. Turn it sideways. Turn your head sideways. Turn your head sideways. Show it off. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's how you have hair. Go ahead. What's up, man?
What's up, Piz? I just want to say I appreciate you doing the stream tonight. I have been a big fan of yours for a long time. I am a huge Giants fan, and I'm excited for tomorrow night. I'm glad we could join you tonight, and I just wanted to say I appreciate everything you do on YouTube.
Awesome. Are you actually in Arizona?
I'm in Arizona. I'm in Flagstaff. I'm about an hour away from the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, I got to be honest. I mean, watching the Giants this year has made me want to jump off the Grand Canyon.
But, hey, man, if you're ever out here, we will get you up to the Grand Canyon. We'll have a good time, all right?
All right, man. I appreciate you following the channel, man. And what do you think about tomorrow night?
Hey, I don't know. Giants against Tom Brady, our history with them is always been a good one, but that offense is a little bit scary. I think our defense, like you said, is probably the best in the NFC East.
I think it is. I honestly do believe that. I don't think our defense is that bad.
I agree with you, and I think James Bradbury and Logan Ryan, those boys are playing with some energy, dude. I think they are just ball hawks. Defensive line, we'll see. I think the offense is the big thing tomorrow night. If Daniel Jones can get it going early, get Gallman some touches, get the slant routes going. We don't need to throw Evan Ingram the ball. Let's get Caden Smith some touches. You know what I'm talking about. I know you're a big Caden Smith fan. I remember Evan Ingram,
Where are you at right now?
I am at work right now.
I was about to say. I was like, that's got to be a work environment. My man watching the stream from work. That's good stuff.
Yeah, every time you go on, I'm like, I gotta catch Bizzle. I'm ready for tomorrow night. Got the Giants blue socks on.
Yeah. All right. That's good shit. I like that.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna hop on tomorrow night, so I'll be there with you. All right.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Have a good night, man.
Awesome, man. Sox, Arizona. My man calling in from work. That's what I'm talking about. That's just good stuff. I love interacting with the people of Pizzle's YouTube channel. And my man just said, you know what? Fuck work. I'm hanging out with Pizzle. I mean, the hell with it. I mean, what better thing to do than hang out with Pizzle than to work? All right, so let's get. I got several here. Let me go to Big Blue Jabroni. What's up, my man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to talk to you again.
Got the mask on, looking good, looking good.
Always, man. This is how I go to work.
That's how you sleep. That's how you shower. That's how you do it all.
You can imagine the problems I get at the DMV.
Man, Pistol got to go there next week. Not next week, but next month. Anyways, what's up? What about this game we got going on here?
I must be absolutely losing my mind. I don't know if it's ever since I came YouTube. I'm just seeing everything with like rose-colored glasses, but I feel like we should play them tough. We beat them last year on the road. I understand they didn't have Tom Brady at the time, and they're probably playing better football this year than they ever did all of last year. But I see an improving football team every week, and I think they should play them down to the wire. I'm hoping for a win.
Hey, hang on, Blue. I got to read this right here. Okay. Now this man might be trolling me, but I'm going to believe that it's not a troll. Okay, I'm going to read it. It's from Clips MX. Hey, Pizzle, just came in your live to get my mind off things. My cat ran away. We still can't find him. I'm scared. It's supposed to be cold tomorrow. First of all, Clips MX, listen to Pizzle, okay? Because Pizzle has experience, okay? I got 2 fucking cats that I live with right now that I honestly wish would run away and die. I'm so done with my cats. But nevertheless, I had one of them go away for like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, raise the roof. So damn excited. And somehow I came back one day and the little son of a bitch was sitting on the front porch waiting for Pizzle. So here's the thing. It's a cat. If it had the ability, it would eat your face off. Okay. I'm not saying you should be mad about this, but what I'm saying is that cat will find its way home. I fucking promise you it will. So hang in there. Don't get all salty. Don't get all sad. Don't get none of this. Whatever weak ass cat name you gave it, realize that it's a monster and it will find its way back home. Sorry about that, Big Blue Jabroni. It's just I'm very passionate about cats because people don't understand.
Not.
They're savages
in the wrong way.
They're savages. Like cats are savages.
2 cats. I love my cats. If they
you have 2 cats,
I'm very upset.
Or you have 2 cats?
Yeah, Nightwing and Oracle.
Okay, well let me tell you what. If the cats could eat your face off, they would. I'm telling you, because the only reason that they don't is because they're not big enough. I'm telling you, you have a monster in your house and you don't realize it.
How do you feel about the game?
Which tomorrow night?
Yes.
Okay. See, I can't talk about cats because I get too passionate about it. I'm excited about tomorrow. I honestly am. I honestly feel like the Giants. Look, Tampa Bay back-to-back road games. Okay, which I think is going to hurt them a little bit. They may come into the game thinking like, oh, it's just the Giants. They're not that good, so they may take us lightly. I think our defense can hang with their offense. What I'm worried about is can our offense hang with their defense, right? That's what I'm worried about. But, if the Giants can just keep it close, which they will because they always do, they reel me in, they reel all Giant fans in. They have an opportunity to really make get back in forget what has happened this whole season and get a nice win. Like, when's the last time the Giants had a nice win? A nice one. Like one you could be proud of.
I don't even remember the last time we beat a playoff team ever.
It's been a while. That's what I'm saying. So, for me, I do think the Giants have an opportunity because of the things that they have in their favor. A home game. They just played Tampa last year, and I understand it was Tampa without Tom Brady. But Tampa is not – they didn't make a whole thing change. They just made a quarterback change. So the Giants have shown we have the personnel to beat this team, and I think we're better than we were last year. So
we also played Thursday. We had those couple extra days.
Couple extra days. That's another thing. Like, we have a lot of things going for us heading into tomorrow. But, again, Tampa's really good. No question about it. But I honestly feel like the Giants have an opportunity tomorrow. I really do. I think they got a chance.
I do too. I see a lot of people thinking we're going to lose by 30, or I see some people are like, oh, this is what the Jets set the bar at for what the Giants got to do. I don't see that at all. I would honestly be surprised if we lost by like 2, 3, 4.
What are you talking about? The Jets set the bar.
Well, the Jets lost to the Chiefs by 20-something points, so we have to keep
Tampa Bay is not the Chiefs.
I agree.
Why would anyone even have that comparison?
Well, I don't know. I'm in the New York area. It's a lot of New York Jets.
That's a stupid. That's a dumb comparison. That's not even remotely. Tom Brady is not Patrick Mahomes. That's not even. I'm not blaming. I'm not getting mad at you, Big Blue Gerard. I'm just saying, like, whoever came up with that is ain't right.
I agree, man. Also, the Jets look absolutely terrible. Like, they are going in the wrong direction. Yeah. I'm so upset that we have just as many wins as like Jaguars and some of these other teams. Yeah. When I watch them, and I'm like, we're so much better than these teams.
I honestly, the only losses that I'm really sick about
49ers.
Well, no, I'm not even sick about that. Just because we got our ass kicked. I'm sick about the Cowboys and Eagles losses. Like, I'm not sick about losing to the Steelers.
No.
I'm not. I mean, I am. Don't get me wrong. I don't want the Giants, but the fact is, after looking at halfway through the year, like, damn, the Steelers are really good. Like, they're still undefeated, right? They look like a legit Super Bowl contending team. The 49ers are not that bad. Granted, they were injured that game, but they're not that bad. The Bears,
because we got absolutely whooped that day. Well, like, at least the other one were heartbreakers, but from the opening whistle, we were just blown off the doors on that one.
The Bears and Rams aren't great, but they're good teams.
They're playoff teams.
They're possibly playoff teams. So, like, I just look at what we've played so far, and I say, okay, the only games I'm really that upset about are the Cowboys and Eagles. Like, those are the ones that still sting for me. You know, even though the Bears game was in reach, the Rams game was in reach, they don't sting as bad because I'm like, well, I think those teams were probably a little bit better than we were at that given time. I don't know if the Giants were – I don't know if the Eagles or Cowboys – I think Cowboys with Dak at quarterback was better than us at that given time. But then after that, with Andy Dalton, he wasn't. They weren't.
And Andy Dalton made the 2 best throws of his career back-to-back against us, of course.
Of course he did. And so did Wentz against to Boston Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. He did throw a ball like that all night.
Yeah. So, anyways, what else, Big Blue? I got more people in the house.
Nah, man, just thanks again for having me on. I'll be here on the post-game video celebrating with you tomorrow night.
Yeah. If we win tomorrow night, good luck going to sleep.
I agree.
Good luck going to sleep.
Also, treat your cats a little bit better, man. That's
I'm done with them. I'm done with them.
Okay.
I'm done with the cats.
Okay.
See you, man. All right, we got Big Blue in the Bronx. What's up, man?
What's going on, Pizzle? What do you think about tomorrow night?
You look excited to talk to Pizzle. What's up?
I am excited. I
like the headphones.
Thank you. I mean, these are my gaming headphones for PS4, but you might as well make them work.
What do you game with? What do you play?
Play on PS4. Play mostly like sports games, so not that exotic. You know,
Madden, 2K.
Yeah.
What else?
GTA on occasion. Not really much else, I must say.
Okay.
Those are the main couple of games. I mean, pretty much it dried me out, I'm going to be honest here, because, like, in quarantine, that's all I was doing. So I'm, like, kind of off of it now. I mean, I'm taking a little break from it. But what do you think about tomorrow night? A lot of people saying, oh, the Giants are going to get blown out. I don't think so, because everybody was saying that about the Dallas game. Meanwhile, what was it? 3 points we lost. Is a heartbreaker.
I honestly, I sincerely mean this when I say this. I think the Giants can keep the game close tomorrow night. Mm-hmm. There's no question that it will be very difficult for the Giants to win. I'm not going to sit there and say that. And here's the reason why I say that. It's not even that I say that the Giants will have a tough time winning because of Tampa Bay. I say it because the Giants haven't proven to any of us, any Giants fan, you, me, I, or anybody, that we have we know how to win. It's like we don't even know how to win games. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are better at knowing how to lose games, like we did to Dallas, like we really did to Philly, than we are at being able to actually win games, finding a way just to overcome and slam the door on teams when we need to. So for me, I just know that even if the Giants are winning some way, somehow in the fourth quarter tomorrow, and they're going to keep it close because they've only played one game where they didn't play it close, which was the Niner game.
And the first half was, shaky a little bit. Yes. I think it was like 16-9, and then, things blew up.
Yes, but even a team like Pittsburgh, right? If you go back and you watch the first game, think about all of the things that were against the Giants that first game.
Mm-hmm.
No preseason, brand new head coach, brand new coaches, brand new off. I mean, so many factors. And they went up against the Steelers team, who currently right now is undefeated, looks like one of, if not the best teams in the AFC, a serious Super Bowl contending team. And we played toe-to-toe with them. And if Daniel doesn't throw that interception in the red zone, who knows what happens in that game? So
one possession game.
It's a one possession game. And you might say, well, Pizzle, like, hey, the Steelers, they didn't have any preseason, but they were a more established team. They had chemistry. The only thing that was a question mark was it was Big Ben's first game back in over a year. So that was it. Other than that, I feel like the Giants have accounted themselves well most of the year, except for the 49er game. Like you said, the first half wasn't that bad, but the second half got away from them. I think I'm a little bit nervous about how the whole COVID thing went this week, with Will Hernandez, and then they missed practice on Thursday. But, I feel like there's a lot of things going for the Giants heading into tomorrow night's game. And I like the fact that we're at home. Hopefully the Eagles' loss won't be too hard on them. I could see a team kind of just giving up. But, hey, they're in the thick of this division, whether you like it or not, right? I mean, even watching this game right now, as the Cowboys are winning 9-7 late in the third, these teams don't scare anybody.
No, not really. And it's going to be two things that for the Giants tomorrow. To me, listen, Tom Brady, he's really re-evolved himself in Tampa Bay. It looks like, he's better than ever. But I think that James Bradbury could lock down Mike Evans. It's just going to be down to two things. Now, Joe Judge obviously has to learn to get less conservative and more aggressive, because we saw that in the Washington game, not going for a 4th and 2 at the goal line, or not going for a 4th and 2 on this situation, instead backing up the punt. He will learn that, in my opinion, to get more aggressive, and I will give him time for that, unlike other people. And it's also going to be, whether the part of, it's not just Shane Lemieux, the whole offensive line going against that Tampa Bay defensive line. Can they protect them? And it's just going to come down to those two things, in my opinion. Will the defense do bad? I don't know. Could they do bad? Possibly. But I'm not necessarily, putting a finger on it.
I absolutely have 100% confidence in Joe Judge. That's honestly, I think, and that's okay. That's okay that you question him, but I think one of the things that gives me confidence in tomorrow is I feel like Joe Judge has given these guys a lot of good teaching moments and teaching points that I feel like they'll be prepared going into tomorrow. And especially the fact that he's been on a coaching staff that had Tom Brady as their quarterback at one time. So he may have some intel on Brady that may be helpful to the Giants. Who knows? But in the end, I do feel like the Giants can compete with this team tomorrow. I do. And it's because of our defense. Now, if our defense is on the field the whole game like they were against the Eagles, they will eventually wear down. But again, I feel okay. I'm optimistic about tomorrow. I am. When I wake up tomorrow, you could ask me and I'd feel a little different, because I'll say, "Oh, we're gonna win tonight. We're gonna win." But right now, I'm just laid optimistic. Back. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, I'm laid back. I'm like, okay. But man, watching this Cowboys and Eagles game, I know some Giant fans have this feeling of, oh, we have no hope this year. But I'm watching these two teams who are at the top of our division, and I'm saying to myself, man, if we could just get something going, we would be we could be in the mix. But man, I appreciate you joining me tonight.
I appreciate being on here.
Have you been subscribed very long?
I've been subscribed. I remember my brother actually introduced me to you going back after the Cardinals game in 2017. I think you were blowing the whistle, and I just found it funny. So I started, going back to more of your videos.
What was his words to you? Did he say, hey, you've got to watch this asshole? Like, what? How did he present Cop Pizzle to you? Do you remember?
I couldn't even watch a Cardinal game, because back up when I lived in Pennsylvania, they were doing Eagles games and, Steelers games. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing they were broadcasting. So it was nothing Giants. And all I could do was, either try to find streams. And I wasn't subscribed to any either. at the time that was like Giants related. Which I have another point to bring up before you could let somebody else on as well, which I haven't thought about. But all I hear in the background is my brother watching this video of some guy, ranting on the Giants and blowing the whistle, and I'm like, "Who is that?" He goes, "Oh, this guy's name is Cop Pizzle. He sounds like a Southern Giants fan." So I started watching you. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's funny. He has the right rage." And the second thing I want to bring up is, I met him twice. Ron
Met
Effect
who twice?
deactivated his social media accounts, I think.
Met who twice?
Ron Effect.
Oh, Ron Effect. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he, went off social media, and obviously that's
So,
nothing against him. But
here's what I'll say about Ron Effect. I don't know what happened to Ron, but Ron started right there right before he deactivated his social. He actually came to me and started to kind of open up to me about just talking with me. Like he was just wanting to talk about YouTube and talk about things I had said, and nothing bad. He was just actually, I've actually tried to do stuff with Ron before, and he kind of said no. Not that he didn't have anything against me. He just didn't like to. Ron always had trust issues. So, anyways, Ron kind of opened up to me and laid everything out on a platter, and he actually started to connect with me. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And so Ron and I were talking about doing some stuff together, and it's weird because I feel like he kind of opened himself up to me to kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? But like he kind of I don't know, but now that he's kind of left, kind of deactivated or kind of went away, it's kind of weird because it was almost like he was saying like I never did anything wrong for him not to collab. But yeah, Ron was good. I think Ron just like everything just got like people got to him too much. And so he bounced.
I remember it was a couple weeks into starting my podcast. I think it was around the time maybe I had you on, and obviously,
oh, what the hell am I saying? I know we did a podcast together.
Yeah,
we did a show together. Now I remember. I thought I recognized your voice.
Yeah,
that's right. You posted on Instagram.
Yes, and Twitter as well, which is mostly active on. But anyway, also I got another point to bring up about this Ben DiNucci character. I contacted Ron, a couple times because we met at Giants training camp in 2019, and we also met at the Giants kickoff party the weekend before the Bills game. So obviously we met there. We got Instagram DMs. He followed me, so whatever. And I contacted him a couple of days either after or before I had you on, and I said, "Hey, man, if you're interested, if you're not interested, it's fine." I said, "Would you be willing to come on a podcast of mine?" And I wasn't that guy that always, was up his ass or anything. I was just pretty much laid back. I watched his videos, and he mentioned me in one of his videos as well because he took a picture with me and my brother, and was not enough. He was bringing up the fact that my brother's a Jets fan, I'm a Giants fan, and he's like, "Listen, right now, nothing against you or anything, but don't really have the time for it, my job and everything." And he's mentioned on YouTube a couple of times, in the last, I would say, year and a half of his channel before he deleted all of his stuff, he's like, "Listen, I don't have time for podcasts. God's given me this test." So I think it was, it's not necessarily a bad thing that he got off social media, because social media can be a cancer.
Absolutely.
When you have the amount of people hating on you. But, good for Ron Effect at what he's doing now, and I hope he really succeeds at it. Do you happen to now? I think I know you're, a Cubs fan or whatever. Do you know who Kyle Higashioka is for the Yankees, the backup catcher?
Yeah.
Is he
wearing number? Is he wearing number like 55 or 56? Am I wrong on that?
What's his number? Luca, what's Higashioka's number? 66. That's
yeah. I knew it was one of those high. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When I saw this guy DiNucci walk on the field tonight, I'm like, wait a minute, he looks like Kyle Higashioka with a beard and a mustache. So I looked it up, and I even posted on Twitter. I said, don't at me or debate me, don't change my mind. But he looks like, he looks like Higashioka with a beard and a mustache. But in my opinion, though, I honestly think we could beat the Cowboys more than we could beat the Eagles in our second half matchups. Not second half.
I think we can beat both of them.
Week 10.
I think we can beat both of them.
here's the thing that's like going against me for this one. Fact enough, it
Don't-
always
don't-
seems like now I'm not losing my total confidence, but in the last 3 years, we've given up a total of 34 points each of the 3 games at home against the Eagles, the last 3 home matchups. Now, I'm not saying we can't win against them because look at the division we're in. But, they have Andy Dalton now, but meaning the Cowboys, but I still have some sort of confidence that the Eagles will get, at least most of their players back. But then again, is Doug Peterson too aggressive and will he screw this team? I don't know. I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not that crazy.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I think it all comes down to timing too, because like Eagles for tonight, so lucky that they get to play the Cowboys with DiNucci as their quarterback, right? Or what I'm saying, like the Eagles are very, very fortunate because I think the Cowboys are probably a better team than them if they're 100%. But they get DiNucci. Hey, plug your while you're on, plug your stuff. Plug your stuff like your Instagram and stuff.
Oh, sure. In the YouTube chat?
No, just
Or
say
in
it.
the-
Just say it. Or I mean, you
all
can do
right.
it. You can do it in the chat or just say it.
Oh, sure. All right. So Instagram, it's all lowercase, obviously. Big Blue in the Bronx. The reason why I originally had is Just Giants podcast. For those of you on Cop Pizzle's channel, thank you, Cop Pizzle, for having me on. The reason why is, I'm a lifelong Yankee fan before I got into like more of the Giants. So I said, you know what? Why don't I incorporate the Yankees and the Giants? It's fun. You don't get a lot of podcasts like that. There's some original ones. And then for Twitter, which I'm mostly active on, it's B, first initial of the big, and then the blue in the Bronx. It's a if you have trouble looking for it, the profile picture is Saquon Barkley and Aaron Judge.
My man, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with Pizzle tonight.
I
Anytime,
appreciate
all
you
right?
having me on.
All
Thanks,
right, man. Good to talk to you, man. Big Blue in the Bronx. Got some good stuff. I did a podcast with him. I forgot about it. It feels like it was forever ago now. All right, let's see what we got here. OG. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't know what we got here. Oh, boy. He doesn't even know he's on. Guess we'll just have to wait. Pizzle, are you a Cubs fan? Yes, I am a Cubs fan. I'm actually more of a WG. I'm a WGN baby, is what I am. I'm a WGN baby. There's the link. You want to come on and holler at Pizzle tonight? Cowboys driving. 27 seconds to go in the third quarter. Game still up for grabs. Eagles 15-9. Had Big Blue on the Bronx, and the Eagles scored a touchdown. What about basketball and hurricanes? What? Would you rather have Freeman or Gurley? Freeman. Are you talking about Todd Gurley? Because Todd Gurley's done. He's done. 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 Cooked. He's done. He's done. What about basketball and hockey? Honestly, I don't really. Here's the thing. So, when I was a kid, I was a real big Reggie Miller fan, which by rule made me an Indiana Pacers fan. And I think I probably like the Predators in hockey, but I can tell you guys that the Giants have ruined my ability. So listen to me carefully. The Giants have ruined my ability to like other teams in other sports. And what I mean by that is when I get into something or when I root for something, I go all the way. Like I'm passionate to the very tippity top of the mountain. Okay. I can't love anything. I can't love any other team, a basketball team, a hockey team, or even a baseball team. I can't love them at the same level that I do with the Giants. The Giants are at such an extreme level that I don't really have any room for other favorite teams. So I follow the Cubs. I follow them very closely. And I've always enjoyed watching them. I've always enjoyed their tradition. I've always enjoyed their everything that goes with them. But here's the thing. So for those that don't know, I live in Nashville. If Nashville got a team, a baseball team, I think I would 100% move to that team. I would start rooting for that team. I don't have now. Again, Nashville has a football team, but I'm so all the way in with the Giants. I can't change. I can't make that change. It's not possible. So the Giants. I say this. And I didn't realize this until later in life. Yes, Cam. I didn't realize this until later in life that the Giants take away my ability to like other teams. So, and I'm not saying that you can't have that. You can absolutely be a fan of every team of a team in every sport. Even if I was let's say if I was a true New Yorker, right? And let's say I was the core teams, the Rangers, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Knicks. I feel like for me, I could not love all four teams equally. I just don't think I could. I don't think it's possible. I don't know how everybody does it. I don't know how some people do it, but if they do it, that's great. But you have to think to yourself, there's got to be one team that you like more than all the other teams. Even if you like the same, even if you are a person that's, even if you're a Philly sports fan and you like the Flyers and the Eagles, the Phillies, and the Sixers, you got to have one that's your main love, and the other one's just kind of a seasonal thing. Nick the Wick Pizzle, can you turn? Yeah, I can turn on super chat. I just don't like doing super chat. I don't want to do super chats. I don't want to do it. First of all, I think if you want to tip me, number one, why would you want to give Google money? That wouldn't make any sense because they take a percentage. And then number two, if I turn super chats on or I do the monetization, then you, the viewer, have to deal with ads. You have to deal with ads. This stream, for example, it would eventually take an ad, and it just becomes annoying. So if you want that process of sending a tip, you can absolutely send me one. I've got one in the ticker down there. But you don't. I just do it because I feel like it's silly. The whole super chat thing is silly, and I know it's a successful thing for some YouTubers, but to me, I don't like the way it's done. So that's why I don't do it. So see here, Cowboys got a big 4th and inches coming up with 14:35 left to go in the fourth. They've got the ball on the Eagles' 43-yard line. 4th and inches coming up. Takes the snap, QB sneak, and I don't think he got it. Boy, this is a weird-ass spot coming up from the refs here. What a big moment in this game. Yeah, exactly. Sox, Arizona. There's no ads. I don't want people have to be bothered by ads. If you want to do a Cash App tip, and I'm not telling you have to, but if you do it, if you watch some of my videos, I give people shout outs. And it's the same process. Here's the thing. I will say that I actually find this game not as boring. It's actually, to me, it's funny, but it's also disappointing because I feel like the Giants should have beat these two teams. All right, here comes the measurement right here. And I think the Cowboys may have got it. They did, first down. So first down Cowboys, 14:22 left to go in the fourth. Brian Johnson, do you think we have our coach of the future with Joe Judge? Love how he has his team ready to play and compete every game. I do, Brian. I do. I think Joe Judge is absolutely the man for the New York Football Giants. I do. I do. So here goes the Cowboys here. DiNucci going deep. Incomplete. First of all, I will say this about tips. Yeah, it is a barn burner, all right. It's very much a barn burner. Thanks for joining me. I will say this about tips. Like as somebody who's a content creator, when I've been given tips or donations or whatever, it's a very humbling thing. It's very humbling because I know when I was a younger man, I busted my ass to make money. And I know how hard it is to make $1 in this world. Absolutely make $1. Not to mention, we're in a pandemic right now, right? And so it's a very humbling experience when somebody gives you money for you giving them some type of enjoyment via YouTube. And so for me, as somebody who doesn't want to take anybody's money for nothing, it definitely gives me a boost and encourages me to continue to try to make the best possible content that I possibly can. So it definitely motivates me. Don't get me wrong. And it's nice. I do think that there are some YouTubers, some that you know very well, that abuse their right to do it. And so I don't like how it gets thrown in people's faces. Because I feel like the super chat thing too, I don't want to, y'all brought this kind of up, but I'm just kind of going with it. I feel like the super chat thing gets thrown into the viewers' faces to where it almost peer pressures you to have to tip, because you're like, oh, so-and-so is tipped and they're reading his comments and so-and-so keeps doing it. And so I feel like I have to. Cowboys go for it on 4th down and they throw an incomplete pass and the Eagles get it right back. So I kind of feel like it's just, to me, man, the super chat, it's just, I understand. I understand the people at Google are smarter than I am, and everybody has a way, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it for my viewers or anything like that. See, I spent $350 on a signed David Tyree jersey, and I don't regret it. So, well, hey, I get that. Look, I'm not going to beat up. I'm not going to beat up Dave Gettleman. Okay. I think Dave, here's one thing I'll say about Dave Gettleman. I appreciate his boldness. I do. I think he's been bold. Pizzle, I got to say, although I don't talk much, you're one of those content creators I respect and agree with. I appreciate that, TD. I can never root for my team to lose. Underrated. Appreciate that, TD. Much love. There's times when I appreciate Dave Gettleman, and then there's times I'm frustrated with Dave Gettleman. I feel like Dave Gettleman has done a lot of things that even I would have done. Like I would have personally done. Like, for example, I would have drafted Saquon Barkley. And looking back on it, I don't know if drafting Saquon Barkley was the right move. If I felt like Daniel Jones, and again, I would for any YouTuber, listen to me. And I know that a lot of people don't want to listen to this, and it probably hurts my viewership and all this and that. Any YouTuber that wants to pretend like they knew where the fuck Daniel Jones was going to actually be drafted is clueless. Okay, absolutely clueless. If I was in the meetings and I was watching tape and I got to talk to scouts and this and that, and I felt like Daniel Jones was absolutely the quarterback for the New York Football Giants based on the intel that I was getting, I would have taken him as early as possible in the draft. And I still don't know if that was a bad move by him. Now, here's where I beat up Dave Gettleman, okay? Because I didn't like the trade for Ogletree. I don't like the DeAndre Baker pick. I'm not so sure I like the Andrew Thomas pick, although I'm giving him the opportunity to figure it out this year. And here's another one. Everyone hated the Jonathan Stewart free agent pickup when it first happened. I didn't hate that because I thought that it was a smart decision to try to pair Saquon Barkley up with a veteran, not only to help him take some carries off, but to help him understand how to be a pro, how to watch film, how to take care of your body, all that stuff. Obviously, it didn't work out, but I thought the idea and the principle of it made sense. So for me, Dave Gettleman has just done so many things that I would have probably agreed with, that I would have done. And then and of course, I'm not like some of these other YouTubers. I will come out and say, I ain't crow. I admit when I'm wrong. I'm not perfect. Never will be. Never have been. Period. So for anybody just to pinpoint Dave Gettleman and say, yeah, you could have done, you don't know what the hell you would have done in his shoes. You don't know the hell that you would have been able to turn things around. Like I can't imagine some of the decisions having to be made, not to mention, I'm not saying that, to go easy on him. No, I mean, it's a big boy job, right? You get paid a lot of money. New York, it's the Giants. You better do that job. So I'm not saying that it's not fair to criticize, but the point is ask yourself, would you have done those moves and would you have not done those moves? That's the thing. If you're going to judge Dave Gettleman and you're going to have a big opinion of him, okay? And again, right, these other YouTubers aren't going to tell you to do this, right? Because what I'm about to say comes down to accountability, not to make a lot of these other YouTubers want to be yes men to you, right? They want to say, when you say Dave Gettleman sucks, they're going to say, yeah, I agree with you, because it's not about actual discussion. It's about scratching your fucking sack or your back. That's what it's all really about, right? So when I go over to, for example, Chrissy Entertainer's channel that one time, and I go over there and everybody's calling me a clown in the comment section, it's because I'm not over there to be a yes man, okay? I'm not over there to scratch their balls, okay? I'm over there to give my opinion about how I feel. So if you have a strong opinion about Dave Gettleman, okay, what's up, Dynamic Solution? If you have a strong opinion about Dave Gettleman, all right, and you absolutely hate Dave Gettleman, let's just say you hate Dave Gettleman, go back, take your time. Don't act like you don't have time to do this. Go back to when Dave Gettleman got the job, look at every single one of his moves, and ask yourself, and be unbiased about this. Go back and look at every single one of his moves and ask yourself, would I have done this or would I have not done this? Now, if you're going to be biased about it, there's no point in doing it. But if you're unbiased and say, you know what, I think I would have made this pick. I think I would have done this. And then total that up. Add the shit up and say, well, shit, man, like, maybe I would have done maybe I would have done most of the things that Dave Gettleman did. Don't go and say, well, it's that one move that I didn't like. It's that one, and then you hold that whole one move over him the whole time. Like if you hate when he picked Daniel Jones, for example, right? And you thought, well, it should have been our second pick. Instead we should have drafted him where we drafted Dexter Lawrence. Holding that one pick over him is completely and utterly not fair, because there's got to be one move that you did that he did that you really liked. For example, I don't know if I would have got Blake Martinez in free agency, but now that I've watched Blake Martinez the way I've watched him, that was a brilliant pickup from Dave. Bradbury's been one of the best cornerbacks in the league, let alone for the Giants. He's been one of the best cornerbacks in the league. I mean, no one receiver has killed us this year. And that's why I have a little bit of confidence tomorrow, because of guys like Bradbury. So for me, if you like, for example, if you like Bradbury or you like Martinez, maybe you like Leonard Williams. We haven't even seen Xavier McKinney play. If you like these pickups, you can't go around saying you hate Dave Gettleman only because of the record alone. Some of that is on Pat Shurmur. Some of that is on the previous regime. Some of that is on coaching. Some of that is on a multitude of things. It's not just one man. You can talk about talent, all this and that, but don't allow the New York media, the papers, don't allow some of these content creators to sway your opinion about it just because they need to get clickbait content out there. It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. Okay? Have an opinion for yourself. You're not brain dead. You can think for yourself. Okay? Again, I'm telling you right now, if I own the Giants, if I personally own the Giants, would I fire Dave Gettleman? I'm not ready to answer that. I honestly am not ready to answer that because I feel like I need to see. To me, I like his free agent pickups, right? I like what he's done so far. I really need to see Xavier McKinney play because I think you've kind of swung and missed possibly on Andrew Thomas. But you didn't swing and miss, I don't think, on Matt Pert. You definitely didn't swing and miss on Darius Slayton. Okay? I don't think you swung and missed on Dexter Lawrence either. DeAndre Baker, you swung and missed. But I need to see guys, I need to see Xavier McKinney play. I don't think you swung and missed on Daniel Jones. So the point being is like, I'm not ready yet to make that move. Week 16, week 17 gets here, then I may be ready. But look, I like the way this defense is starting to shape up. It's young, and it has the ability to be good for a long time, right? We only need to add a pass rusher to this defense, and then all of a sudden, this defense is really good. The offense, we need a playmaking receiver, absolutely, to go with Darius Slayton. We've given Evan Ingram every opportunity to be our tight end. It's not going to happen, right? These other content creators are going to continue to feed them down your throat, but it's not going to happen. I've got faith in Daniel Jones. I do. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to go on a rant here about Dave Gettleman, but the fact that some of you are so strongly in your opinion about Dave kind of annoys me, kind of bothers me because I don't, as somebody who loves the Giants as much as I do, and I'm not going to sit here. You know, I had somebody come to me the other day, and they tried to take me and license plate guy. You know who license plate guy is? Where's the license plate goes to all the Giants games. And somebody tried to go and basically pin license plate guy and me against one another, right, on Twitter. And they were basically saying, oh, well, Pizzle is the number one Giants fan, and he's a bigger Giants fan than license plate guy. I'm not going around telling anybody that I'm a number one fan of anything, all right? I've got respect for license plate guy. License plate guy is older than me. License plate guy probably has been given better opportunities than I have in life. And so because of these things, I don't know who he's married to. Maybe he's married to somebody who's very wealthy. I don't know. So he has this ability to go to games, right? Would I go to games if I had things a little bit maybe more in line? Absolutely. I would go to every single game. So it doesn't, I'm not saying that the fact that he goes to every game makes him a better fan, but my point is I don't go around telling everybody I'm the number one Giants fan of all the fan base. The point I'm getting at is you can love the Giants a little bit more than me or just equal to me. But the fact is I know how much I love the Giants and how much they mean to me and how much I support them. And even for me to say, I don't know about Dave Gettleman. I don't know how anybody can have such a strong opinion of keeping him or firing him right now at this point is what I'm getting at. So, again, to me, it's still really tough. What's up, Eddie Price? I don't mean to go on a huge rant about Dave Gettleman, but I'm starting to feel very passionate about this. I'm starting to feel very passionate about Daniel Jones. I started to lean at the very start of the year. I started to lean anti-Daniel Jones, and then I had to change. I had to make a change, and the change was I was letting my love for Eli Manning affect how I felt about Daniel Jones. And then I said, Pizzle, that ain't right. That's wrong. That's not the way you should be. You shouldn't be judging Daniel Jones, Eli Manning against Daniel Jones. That's not fair. So stop doing it. So I did. I said, okay, Daniel deserves a clean slate. So I started to watch Daniel in a way of a clean slate because I started to see people put this bullshit tank for Trevor nonsense, right? And so for me, I think Daniel Jones, and I'm going to give you guys a very bold statement here that is going to be a little hot takeish, okay? And hold on, let me read this. First of all, let's read a couple of them. Dynamic Solution says, for any YouTuber to think they grasp the football better than an NFL GM is just foolish. The complexities are so far beyond anyone's comprehension. Yes. And the fact is, here's another thing. The fact that the amount of people that eat up YouTube content creators' information as if it's gold is fucking crazy to me. People come to me. Look, I don't go around acting like I have all the answers. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan. Very passionate, right? I have my opinions of how things should be, how I would like to see them be, right? I'm a believer that Giants football should be playing good defense and run the football, right? You may think that it'd be nice for the Giants to have an air attack. I don't believe that. I believe it would be better if we just ran it and played good defense. But the fact is a lot of people take these content creators' word as gold. I'm telling you right now, don't take my word for gold. Because if I was a general manager, I may fuck it up. I'm just being honest. I'm just being as honest as I possibly can. I may be a person that lives too much in the past as far as how football should be played. I would always want my team to be physical, fucking mean, but probably have limitations of being able to throw the ball deep. Because I'm a person that wants to play a little bit more of a conservative game. I think anytime you air it out, there's problems that could happen. Quarterbacks get hurt. Anytime the ball's in the air, the team can intercept it. It's a lot easier to me to hand the ball off than it is to throw the ball. So I'm very conservative in my approach. I think if you're more of a passing kind of person, not to be political, you're more of a liberal kind of person in general. But nevertheless, it is what it is. Hey, Pizzle, were you surprised we only made one trade before the deadline? Do you foresee us making any more before or after the Bucs game tomorrow? TD, I don't, the one thing that's crazy to me is there were a lot of Giant fans that were like, why can't we just trade Evan Ingram? Who the hell wants Evan Ingram? Like, your team, a team has to want the players that you have on the team. And then what are you offering? So for me, like, I look at the Giants roster, and if I'm a team and I need to add a piece to feel like to get me over the hump, we're not going to give away some of the foundation players that we have, right? Dexter Lawrence, Daniel Jones, Darius Slayton. These guys are our foundation. So we're not going to give those away. You want to give away a player that you don't have a future. Where are those guys at? Our team is relatively young on the defensive side of the ball. Like, we have to keep that core together because we're building our team around this defense. If you can't see that as a Giants fan, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if we're clearly building this team around our defense. I mean, look what we did in the draft. We drafted all offensive linemen, all linebackers practically, right? That's pretty much telling you we're trying to win at the core, in the trenches on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, we really need to help our linebacking core. So we're trying to build these units. And so for me, the philosophy that the Giants have set in the offseason showed me everything that we're trying to do. We even dressed linebacker and free agent with Blake Martinez. So for me, like, it's there on the table. I just can't believe other Giant fans can't see it. They need to start Caden Smith. Absolutely, I agree with that. Let me tell you something. This is going to be a little hot take-ish, right? And a lot of people won't agree with me. Okay. So I was just for a short time, I was listening to Chris the Entertainer's stream the other night, right? And by the way, there's 5:30 to go in the fourth quarter, and Cowboys are driving. The Eagles' 20-yard line, 3rd and 6 coming up, and DiNucci gets absolutely crushed. He fumbles. The ball's still on the ground. Eagles are going to pick this thing up and run it back for a touchdown, and that's probably going to be the game. What an atrocious play that I just watched. And of course, the Eagles, the luckiest team, what seems to be on God's green earth, is going to end up winning this game in that fashion. So this is a little bit of a hot take-ish thing that you may go scratch your head on, okay? I'm in Entertainer's stream the other night, and somehow the discussion came up of, and I wasn't I wasn't on his stream as like a guest. I was on the stream as in like just watching. Okay. Somehow the discussion came up Daniel Jones versus Peyton Manning as a prospect, right? And entertainer, who I will be honest with you, frustrates me sometimes. And a lot of the people that were commenting just laughed at that laughed at it. They just said, oh, Daniel Jones versus Peyton Manning, are you kidding me? Like, whoa, like, not even close, like, blah. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, wait a minute. Before you just completely disregard this, why are you just sweeping this as in like a Peyton Manning? So here's the thing. Your brain, I'm going to go a little deep for you guys. Your brain is impossible to understand the comparison between Peyton Manning versus Daniel Jones, because Peyton Manning has already had a Hall of Fame career. He's already won 2 Super Bowls. So you automatically in your brain say, well, Peyton Manning's better than Daniel Jones, right? I've lived most of my life, pretty much all my life, in the state of Tennessee. Peyton Manning is, I guess I got my score mixed up because the Eagles were going for 2 and they didn't get it. Peyton Manning in the state of Tennessee is literally fucking God. Okay? I don't exaggerate when I say that Peyton Manning could probably murder somebody in the state of Tennessee and get away with it. I mean, that's pretty much the truth. He can pretty much do anything he wants in the state of Tennessee, and everybody will turn the cheek. I would argue that he's probably one of the most popular men in all of the South, right? Peyton Manning can't probably go anywhere without being recognized. So you already think that Peyton Manning, you already elevate Peyton Manning in the discussion between him and Daniel Jones. But here's what I'll say. I'm old enough that I remember watching Peyton Manning come out of college, right? I remember watching Peyton play his first couple of years. He was awful. His rookie year was terrible. But let me tell you what Peyton Manning had that Daniel Jones doesn't have. He doesn't have Edgerrin James, right? Before you give me Saquon Barkley, Edgerrin James was an established running back, like real deal. The Colts always had a great offensive line. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dallas Clark always had great players around him. Daniel Jones has never had anything other than Saquon Barkley and maybe Darius Slayton around him. That's it. Daniel Jones has not had anybody caliber of Marvin Harrison yet on his team, of a Dallas Clark yet on his team, an offensive lineman as good as Jeff Saturday on his team as of yet. Here's the thing, too. Peyton Manning was never in his lifetime ever going to have a 80-yard run for a touchdown, or Peyton Manning would have never had the ability to stumble and fall like Daniel Jones did against the Eagles. Daniel Jones has some really – now, the only thing that he probably lacks that Peyton had was the mindset, right? Peyton was a genius out there, like a coach. I don't know if Daniel Jones has that. In fact, I've criticized Daniel Jones's ability to think between the ears this season, but I feel like a lot of it's because of the speed of the game and the fact that he's just not understanding the things that need to be done. Or is it the talent around him, right? You can't sit here and criticize Dave Gettleman and then also in the same breath criticize Daniel Jones. Because if you don't think Dave Gettleman's got the talent on the field, is it fair to judge Daniel Jones in a position that gets highly criticized, right? If you don't win, it's your fault. If you win, you get all the credit. So I don't feel like you can do the same. I don't think it's fair to sit here and say, well, there's no talent on the field thanks to Dave Gettleman, and then at the same breath say, well, Daniel Jones stinks because he stinks. Well, you can't, there's no talent. Who does he have? I mean, who does Daniel Jones seriously have out there that's well established in this league? I love Darius Slayton. Everybody knows I love Darius Slayton. But let's be honest. I think Darius Slayton would be a really nice number 2 receiver. A really nice number 2. really, really, really nice number 2. If you gave him a Plaxico Burress per se, right? Because the Giants fans are familiar with that. If you gave Darius Slayton a guy like Plaxico Burress on the other side, I think Darius Slayton would be a even better player. The Giants have had no receivers. Daniel Jones doesn't even have the ability to have a receiver that's even that big. Most of them are small. Most of them are just quick, shifty guys. So to just nonchalantly blow off Peyton Manning's way better prospect, you need to go back to 1998, 1999 when Peyton was showing up and really say to yourself, wait a minute, Daniel can do some things that Peyton could do. And Daniel can do some things that Peyton could never even imagine doing. I don't think you just blow it off. I think a lot of the times a quarterback is a product of the system and the other players around him. If you've got a great team around you, you're going to be great. I think that every quarterback is fortunate to be a part of a great team. Now, there's no question that a quarterback can elevate a team, such as Dak on the Cowboys. I mean, without Dak, the Cowboys have absolutely been terrible on offense. Let's just be honest. They've been atrocious. But the fact is, man, like a lot of times quarterbacks are a product of the great teams around them. That's just facts. It is. So I don't know if Peyton Manning could have went to other teams and been a great player. You don't know that. You would like to think that that's possible, but you don't know that for sure. There's no question. Even when he left the Colts, right? He made sure he put himself with a nice thing with the Broncos. And I think the reason why he went to the Broncos was because he realized he could win that division. And on top of it, he really liked that Broncos defense that they were building. So I don't know why people just blow off these. I mean, Daniel Jones, here's another thing too. Daniel Jones has already shown that he can run just as fast, if not faster, than Lamar Jackson, right? They've shown you the stats. Surely you guys have seen that. What would Daniel Jones be like if he played on the Ravens? What would he be like? I don't know. That's for you to answer. That's an answer that you could have to answer for yourself. For me, I think he would be would look even better on that team than he would as the Giants. So again, like a lot of my criticism on Daniel is because of my love for Eli Manning, and I'm still pissed off that they benched or they moved on from Eli. I felt like Eli had one more season left in him. I felt like it was possible. Looking back on it, I was sick and tired also of the criticism that Eli was getting, even though it wasn't his fault. So for me, to sit here and watch Giant fans have this mindset of tank for Trevor has really put a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't think it's fair to Daniel because I still think Daniel is a really nice prospect. I do. I think he's a nice prospect. And so, look, again, if I was starting a franchise, would I want Peyton Manning or Daniel Jones? Yeah, I would want Peyton Manning. But this idea to just blow off Daniel Jones, like was going on in that stream, was, in my opinion, ridiculous. It's just ridiculous because I think Daniel Jones, when you stack him up against some of the greats, right, you have to ask, well, wait a minute. Daniel can do some things that the greats couldn't do, and if you give him enough time, as in year 3, year 4, year 5, just maybe all of the other things are going to come around if the right talent gets around him, if the right situation gets around him. Like, how good would Daniel be if he actually had a tight end that could catch the fucking ball? Because Evan Ingram has shown that he can't catch the ball. I mean, how good would he be if he had a better receiver other than Golden Tate? Right? And I'm not saying Golden Tate is complete trash for the Giants, but the fact is like, come on, guys. Like, what would Daniel do in the Chiefs offense? Would he be as good as Mahomes? I don't think so. I think Mahomes is a unicorn. I think he's a freak. But let's not act like Daniel Jones would not be good in the right system right now. Michael Barnett, R.I.P. Dallas. Yeah, I mean Dallas is in big trouble. You know what's crazy about the Cowboys right now? Do you guys remember when when Romo got hurt and the Cowboys ended up having a bad season, and then they ended up getting Zeke in the draft? Right, and Zeke's a good player. Zeke's a good running back. There's no question about it. Zeke's a great player. The thing that I worry about the Cowboys here is I don't think the Cowboys are that bad of a team, but all of the circumstances for what they may be has hurt the Cowboys. And I'm afraid that the Cowboys are actually going to get a really nice draft pick again, like they did with Zeke, and get a really nice player. And then they'll just go right back to being good again. That's what I do worry about. So, John Opinion Sports, hey, I love you too. So I am worried about that. That's the thing. No, it's 21-9. I got the score up there. Wait a minute, I got the score wrong. Cowboys just gave him 2 points. I fucked it up. Well, shit. I clearly don't know how to work a. So, anyways, yeah. So, look, I'm very passionate about some of these hot topics right now for the Giants organization. The one thing I'll tell you, I will say this, and I know that the Giants were having this, or they're flirting with this idea, and of course, it's all just speculation, right? It's all media based, it's all clickbait. The Giants are flirting with this idea of getting the guy from New England as to be the next general manager. And everybody thinks that this New England philosophy of getting New England guys, right? Getting guys from their office and getting coaches like Joe Judge and all this and that. You think that, well, just because they come from the Patriots that they must be good. I don't know if that's true. I honestly feel like Bill Belichick is an evil genius. And I know a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, Tom Brady is showing the Patriots that it was actually him and not Bill. I disagree with that. I still don't. Brady is in a much better situation in Tampa than Belichick is in New England. New England had a lot of people opt out because of the whole COVID thing. New England's had a lot of different things thrown at them this year. I don't think New England, by any chance, I mean, there is a chance that they could go into somewhat of a rebuild. But I think that Brady's in a much better situation than Belichick is. I mean, that's just what I believe. Bill Belichick, to me, is an evil genius. He's to me, there's no question without a doubt that he's one of, if not the greatest coaches of all time in the National Football League. So for me, this idea that you can just plug and play somebody from the Patriot system into your organization and it works better, I don't think is always true. I mean, there's been a ton of coaches that have went elsewhere and they get out from underneath Bill and they don't succeed, right? The reason why I like Joe Judge so much is he reminds me of course, I was a younger kid, but he reminds me of Parcells. He has like a Parcells feel to him. Now, Parcells was a little bit more of a jokester, right? Probably had a little bit more personality than Joe Judge has. Joe Judge seems like he's kind of a no-nonsense, but when you see in training camp when Joe's doing the whole sliding in the mud, watering, the water and shit, you think, well, that's a little bit of personality. That's cool to see. But the fact is, like, as far as the mic stuff to the media, Joe has a lot of Bill Belichick in him where he's like not going to give you a lot, kind of keep it under the wraps. But anyways, I got cough. Anyways, so I just feel like, to me, this idea, these Giant fans or these Giant people that are just like, oh yeah, just go get this coach, just go get this guy from the Patriot system, and it'll all be fine. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all. So Van Helsing came in here to basically he wanted me to basically say, oh, the Eagles are winning against the Cowboys. Only to then come back and say, well, back to Philly 500 stream, digga. Like, okay. As a Bears fan, I'm rooting for you guys to beat Tampa. I hope the Giants get it together for you. But thank you, Can't Bear Loose, and I appreciate that. I always love. It's so funny because I think it has a lot to do with the evolution of my channel. I always love when opposing teams fans come to my page and they're like, man, I hope the Giants get it done for you, Pizzle. And I don't do this channel because I want the Giants, I know it's without a doubt that when you see a certain team, you think of a content creator, you think of somebody, right? So if you watch the Giants, for example, you may say, well, I'm thinking of Pizzle while I'm watching this game, right? I know it's just going to happen. I don't want that to be the case, right? I don't want to make the Giants about me. But I do appreciate that when opposing fans like come to my page and they're like, oh, like, good luck, Pizzle. Like, I hope they finally, but yeah, I mean, I know it's inevitable. I know it's going to happen. And so there was a time when my channel, people just from opposing fans just hated me, hated my channel, hated the Giants, just this and that. And I think that the last few years, people have started to just feel sorry about what I have to go through being a Giants fan. Yeah, TD, I believe the Giants defense can be a top 10 defense in this league. I don't think that's a very hot take. I think it has the ability. We have talent on our defense. Our defense has done enough to win games. Absolutely. I appreciate it, Unlimited. Our defense has done good enough things to win ball games. Our offense just hasn't done it. Our offense has failed us. And what's funny, here's the thing about our offense. I think in some of the games, you could say that was Daniel Jones's fault. Some of the games you could say, well, that was Jason Garrett's fault. Maybe a game you could say, well, that was the offensive line's fault. It's weird because there's not really one man to blame. There's always a difference of what happened. And so for me, the whole unit has got to improve. They're showing Jerry Jones there's 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're showing Jerry Jones, and he just looks. I love Jerry Jones. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a Giants fan that does not hate Jerry Jones. Honestly, I actually respect Jerry Jones because I think Jerry loves his Cowboys the same as I would love the Giants if I owned them. I think, honestly, if I was an owner of the Giants, for example, I would be just like Jerry Jones. Honestly, I would want to be hands-on. I would want to be seen. I would want to be supportive and just, all this and that. Like, I think a lot of us would be that way. So I actually respect Jerry Jones. I don't hate him at all. I get a good laugh out of Jerry. I honestly do. I think Jerry Jones is exactly how a lot of us would be if we owned our favorite teams. And I don't know if the Cowboys were Jerry Jones' favorite team, but he obviously acts like that is the case. Oh, you just lost me forever with what info? What info did I just lose you with? Defense can't make that one play at the end of the game. I agree with that. Now, they did in the Washington game. They did in the Washington game, but as far as the Eagles game, and I know some Giant fans were blaming them for the Eagles game. Look, I think they were gassed. And the Eagles just hit them with a couple good punches and knocked them out. That game was all for the offense to go out there and win, and they just didn't get it done. All right, look, if you're a fan of the Eagles, Washington, and the Giants, and you just hate Jerry Jones only because he's the owner of the Cowboys, I think that's silly. I think that's silly. Now I'm not saying you can't hate Jerry Jones, but just because he's the owner of the Cowboys, and I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. But I can also respect a man for the effort he puts into his team. No question about it. I think he's funny. Dan Snyder, for example, I don't like anything about him. I think he's a weasel. And so yes, I hate Washington and I laugh at them, but I don't respect Dan Snyder the same way that I do Jerry Jones. New Jack. Aaron Edwards. Please beat the Bucs. I hope. Do you hate the Eagles or Cowboys more? I grew up hating the Cowboys more than the Eagles. The last few years, I've started to hate the Eagles, I think, a little bit more. And it's really only to do with their fans. And I really, honestly, I hate both of them equal if that's even possible. If that's even possible. 2 minutes ago in the game. If that's even possible, I really honestly hate them equally. I mean, the Cowboys, I have literally grown up from the get-go just hating them. It was like I was just from the get-go. Unlimited liquor. There is no question that a lot of Giant fans, including you and myself, were hurting. My post-game video that I made, and you can go back and watch it, was one of the hardest post-game videos I've made in a really, really long time. Really long time. I had no words. I was extremely frustrated. And the thing is, it's funny because if you really know me, when I get to the point of no words, that's what obviously I think a lot of people like my post-game videos when I'm loud and just raging and all this and that. But when I have no words, when I can't piece things together, that's when I'm really at that's when I'm at my level of bad. Really bad. Like I'm one of these people that if I'm mad, right? I'm talking about just anywhere in life, right? Somebody does something to you bad at Home Depot, or somebody does something to you somewhere, and I don't throw a big fit. I don't go and just knock over the rack of brooms. I just get quiet, and I don't mean quiet as in like, oh, I won't do anything. I just get to the point where it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let my actions speak louder than my words at this point. When I have a lot of words, I'm upset, but I'm not as upset as when I'm quiet. I know that's weird to say that. I don't live in the Carolinas. Christian, you can either do PayPal, just send a cop pistol, or you can do Cash App. You got Cash App. I know why you don't like Dan Snyder, because of all those sexual harassment claims. I hope you know that every single one of those are fake, and we're just trying to. That's actually not the reason why. I have nothing. I actually don't look. The sexual harassment things, like, if true, I am bothered by that. But honestly, I don't care, to be quite. I've just always looked at Dan Snyder, and he looks like a weasel. He just looks like somebody that would do something. He's just gross. And I don't think that. I think that, and granted, the whole peer pressure, I get the whole society we live in, the politically correct society we live in. But the man came out and said that he would never change the Redskins name. And then all of a sudden, he's out here changing the name. I mean, there's just, to me, he doesn't seem like a very trustworthy person or somebody that I would want to do business with. I've always felt that way. Brian M., you just ramble on. What am I supposed to do? I mean, what am I supposed? Am I supposed to just stare up at the ceiling? You just ramble. Okay. Let's see. Honestly, Dylan, I think I was going for the Cowboys because I think the Eagles are starting to slowly kind of figure it out. I think they're starting to slowly figure out, and I'm really concerned about them kind of breaking away from the NFC East. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I feel like the Giants have had every opportunity to get back in the race, and if we lose to Tampa tomorrow, it's gonna put us in a really bad situation. But we can still fight our way out of it. We just have to start stringing wins together. Do you like Trump? I don't know. Look, let me tell you what. I've always been a believer that, and for some reason, we live in a society now that feels the need to maybe I'm a little bit old school, but if you had grandparents, they voted and didn't tell anybody who they voted for. That's a philosophy I wish we would all go back to. Because if I say I like Trump or if I like Biden, you're going to hold it against me because of some weird political feeling that we all have now. And you shouldn't do that. You honestly shouldn't. You shouldn't. If it doesn't matter who I vote for, because my opinion of how the world should work can be completely different on how you view the world or how you think it should work. And the game is over, and the Eagles have finished off the Cowboys. Not much. I didn't really talk a lot about the game. I just interacted with you guys. But I just don't feel. I don't feel the need to share any political thing. I don't have that. I don't have that opinion. I don't feel the need to. Here's the thing. If a person came up to me and said, I'm voting for Trump, I would view them the same way as if they came up to me and said they're voting for Biden. I honestly have no hate for any man that votes whatever way they want to. However you want to view the world is how you want to view the world. And whoever wins on Tuesday, the people that want to make politics into sports are ridiculous. And that's what they honestly are trying. You cannot make, like, I don't know if, and I'll go on to a little bit of a rant here. Anybody that, what's funny is a lot of you people remember high school, right? And the people that were running for the class president or running for anything, those people more than likely were nerds in your high school. Am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? Most of those people were nerds in your high school. Yet we have allowed the political nerds of our society, right, to cause us such anguish, such anger that we're all butting heads and we're putting stupid ass signs in our yards. And the truth, I feel like it's like the revenge of the nerds that all these people who used to give wedgies to in the bathrooms because they would tell you to vote for them in high school are now getting us all back and making us fight over stupid stuff all the time. So, again, I feel like you guys go way too deep with this whole political thing and you make it about sports and you say, well, yeah, my team's going to win. Like, yeah, if we don't win, then we're going to make this stupid ass. Like, if you go out and protest because of the election or any kind of political thing, I think you're a booger eater. I just think you're a booger eater. I honestly do. Because you're trying to make the political landscape sportish. Team versus team. It's not. It can't be. There is no winner. There is no winner. There is no loser. It's stupid. It's not sports. There's no competition. I mean, first of all, let's be honest. Trump technically lost the popular vote in 2016, but he won the election, right? Like it's like it's just the way the game's played. So you got one side said, well, he didn't win the popular vote, but he won, and that very well might happen this election. Joe Biden may win the popular vote, but lose the election same way. So if you want to make it a sporting contest, you go right ahead. You be a booger eater. I refuse to do that. I'm a sportsman. Okay. Let's see. Pizzle, great stream, real relaxed. Appreciate it, man. Julio, bro, I've been watching you since your young backward hats. Let's go, G-Man. I appreciate that, Julio. I did. I used to wear a lot. I used to wear my hats backwards a lot. What's up, Sunday? Look, I didn't plan on going too long. I'll throw the link in the stream. If anybody wants to come on, say hello before I jump off. Evan, thoughts on the Steelers? They're a really damn good team. If you're a Steelers fan, you got a legitimate chance to win a Super Bowl this year. Legitimate chance. Serious chance. And just for the record, I do think Trump's going to win on Tuesday. I do think he's going to win. But we'll see. What's up, Anthony? Thoughts on the Seahawks? I think the Seahawks are really good. I would like to see them test. I would like to see them up against a really, really good team, though. I don't think that they have been. I don't know if they have a great win yet. Like, I think the 49ers win's pretty good today, but I don't know what their best win is yet. Dan, hot damn, the NFC East is garbage. Yeah. Fabian, Pizzle, my Eagles have a bye next, and then when we play the Giants at New York. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Super Bowl picks, TD. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to make that claim yet. I think the Steelers I think the Steelers can make it from the AFC. I really do. I don't think it's going to be the Ravens or the Chiefs. I'm going to tell you who I think sneaky, not to make it to Super Bowl, but I think it's a sneaky football team is the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins are super sneaky. Super sneaky. I really do. I think they are. I think they're really sneaky. All right, we'll get a couple guys here on the stream, and then we'll pop out. Giants Opinion Sports, what's up, man?
What's up, Pizzle?
What's going on?
You hear me fine?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Hey, man, I just want to say I love your show. I appreciate you, man. Actually, you're one of the people I look up to and the reason why I started my channel. So I appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. Have you become you said you looked up to Pizzle. Have you become a 60-minute man?
I try, but I'm getting older. I can't do that 60-minute shit anymore. I don't think the old lady would let me anyways either. After about 20, she'd be going, hurry up with this, Willie. I got shit to do.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's all good. I'm just trying to be real. I know you're all about that.
I understand. I appreciate. So I have definitely had people come to my page and say that I helped inspire them to make YouTube videos. So I appreciate that, man. It always means a lot when somebody says something like that to me. I remember a time when the Giants didn't have a lot of support here on YouTube, and maybe I just found YouTube a lot earlier than some people did. And so I think that I don't want to take I'm not taking all credit for it. So please don't think that I am, but I definitely think that the reason why there are so many great Giant content creators on YouTube, I think that maybe I had something a little to do with that.
No, I don't know. A lot to do with it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's if you're a Giants fan, you have so many different options and so many different like choices. Like you really do. You've got definitely all different types of flavors, and so yeah, man, I appreciate every time anyone tells me that. So I do appreciate it.
So what do you think about the Buccaneers game? How you feeling?
I feel like we got a chance, man. I do. I feel like look, I don't know if we're gonna look. It's hard to go and just completely stand on a ledge and say, yeah, we're gonna win the game, right? I've done that a lot, and the Giants have lost a lot. I will say this: the Giants have shown, if they've shown anything over the last several years, even being a bad football team, they will hang close and they will reel me and a lot of other Giant fans into this game. Like they will reel us in and make us believe that we have a chance. And the one thing I worry about, or what I'm nervous about, is they just don't know how to win yet, this team. And so they haven't, and even the Eagle game, right, the Thursday night game, should have won that game. Most good football teams win that game, and the Giants found a way to lose the game. And so for me, even if we're in the game tight tomorrow night, we have shown over and over and over we don't know how to win those games. So that part I am nervous about. And if they're able to get a win, man, that's going to be awesome. I was saying this earlier, though. If you ask me this question tomorrow morning, we're definitely winning the game.
Doesn't it just feel like we're a couple pieces away on like offense and defense, though?
I think we're one piece away on defense, right? Because we still have to see Xavier McKinney play at safety, and I think he's going to be good. But I feel like we're a pass rusher away. Okay. And then on offense, I feel like we're a Plaxico Burress-like player as a receiver. I think we're still a tight end away because I don't think Evan Ingram's any good. And I think we're definitely probably one more a really good offensive lineman away. So I think we're 2 or 3 pieces away from the offense. But on the defensive side, which I love our defense. I honestly, sincerely do like our defense. I feel like we're just one piece away. And so if we could get those pieces, and this is why also I don't hate Dave Gettleman as much as some people do, because I feel like we're not that far away. If we could, and because our team's relatively young, right? I just don't want to bring in somebody who just completely changes the philosophy. If we could just get a few more players, just maybe we can have something. Maybe I'm brain dead. Maybe I'm too optimistic. No. But I'm with you. Like I feel like we're close.
I feel like we definitely need a pass rusher, but I mean that Ryan Lewis seems to have played okay. I mean, last game he got tortured, but well, he tortured us. I mean, he just got torched, but I think we need another cornerback, another pass rusher would be good. I mean, Lorenzo Carter was looking pretty dang good until he got hurt, and Fackrell's he's suitable. Maybe we can bring him back another year and see if he can replicate what he's done so far. If he plays this out the rest of the year, and the offense, I mean, I really only see 2 long-term pieces as of now: Nick Gates and Andrew Tomsky's playing like this. He ain't gonna be a long-term piece, but.
It's funny.
I'll give him a order too, and I wasn't beginning of this year, but the way this offensive line has looked so far has really made me question the whole thing, because that was the one promise he made when he came in, if you know what I mean.
Well, look, and you brought up Lorenzo Carter. I was getting ready to jump off the Lorenzo Carter bandwagon because the previous year I was way on it, and then like he didn't do anything, and then I came into this season kind of thinking he was kind of Evan Ingram's. And was playing so good and better that I was like, man, Lorenzo Carter's really stepping up. Like this defense is really suiting him. And it was a shame that he got hurt, because I thought like here he's starting to play at what I feel like his potential is. And look, you mentioned about a cornerback. In fairness, they were supposed to have DeAndre Baker out there, right? And so I don't really hold that against the Giants, even though they did make that pick. If they would have had DeAndre Baker out there, they would they would have that piece that you say is missing, right? But you're right. I mean, it is missing. But in fairness, they didn't know that it wasn't going to be there. So if you give them a legitimate full off season, maybe they're able to fix that this go around. So
yeah, I hear that. I'd like to see Gettleman stay.
I'm rooting for Dave. I honestly am because I said this. I went on a big rant just earlier about it. You know, if you're going to be on the train of him going, you need to go back and look at every single move and ask yourself, would you have made that move or not? Like, I'll just give you an example. Let's run down 3 of them. Would you have drafted Saquon Barkley at number 2?
Well, with the stipulations I think he had, like having to keep Eli, yeah, that would have been what I would have done.
So you would have done that. Would you have drafted Daniel Jones when he did?
Considering I was going to need quarterback, and that was what my head coach, who's offensive minded, wanted. That's probably what I would have done.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a tough one.
Now, if I knew my offensive head coach was on that short of a leash,
yeah,
I would have probably had a hard time doing it. I know it was hard for him to pass up on Josh Allen.
Would you have traded? Yeah, I get that, but would you have traded OBJ?
Absolutely, yeah, I would have traded him.
Okay. Well, I just again, and maybe those are 3 answers that maybe I knew what your answers would be, but if you go back and you just look at every single move, ask yourself, would you have done that? Because if that's the case, then it's just not the easiest job in the world. I'm not saying you can't be down on him. You can. Like, you can be frustrated with him and say, this is doing a terrible job. But then I think once you go back and you look at all of the moves that he's made, say, man, you know what? I would be getting fired then. Because
Nate Soldier, we had to look at what we had at left tackle. We had to bring in Nate Soldier.
Yeah, well,
he had no choice.
Here's the thing. Like, I wish Nate was playing this year, because I don't think it's fair that Andrew had to be thrown into the left tackle position right away without any preseason, without anything. I wish Soldier would have been able to play, and we would have been able to slowly put in Thomas when he was ready. And so a lot of people are picking on Dave because they don't think Andrew Thomas was any good now. But in fairness to him, man, he's been asked to do a lot, and it's a tough thing to do.
I don't think it was fair about all the free agent signings people are killing about his first 2 years. People are harping on like deals he was given $2-3 million a deal. I mean, for some of these players, and that's what they're calling for his job for us. Yeah, that's what I didn't get about it.
Well, look, I didn't like the Alec Ogletree trade.
No, it was horrible.
But I did like when he brought in Jonathan Stewart, for example, because I liked the fact that he was putting a veteran running back with Saquon Barkley. I liked that. You know, if you are and Andrew Thomas is a great example. Who does Andrew Thomas have on the offensive line as a veteran leader to take him to say, okay, Andrew, this is what you did wrong? And I'm not talking about a coach. I'm talking about a teammate.
Right.
Who does he have?
Maybe
doesn't have
Kevin Zeitler.
maybe Zeitler, but Zeitler at the end of the day is a guard, right? So, I mean, playing right guard compared to left tackle is 2 completely different things. So I'm not saying that every rookie needs a babysitter.
You know what's nice about Giants though, Pizzle, though? You know, they keep a lot of their players around from the past. I'm sure he could get the phone number to David Deal or something.
Maybe, but again, I don't know if that's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be right, but the fact is, if you yourself were a highly regarded left tackle, and they said, all right, look, Andrew, our number one, he's out because of COVID, and you're going to need to play it. You have no friend. I mean, you have no friends. Think about that for a second. You have no friends. You're on an island, and I understand that. Like, look, you're the number 4th overall pick. They said that you would be good, so be good. The fact is, it's a lot on him to figure out at 21, 22, 23 years old. So, look, he has cost us a game or 2 this year. He has
some of that coaching too, because they know they need to help him. They need to help him.
No, they do, but he also has to learn. He has to learn. I mean, Absolutely. You have to give him a chance. Look, some of this is still the fact that you didn't get any preseason action, right? I understand that National Football League and fans in general, it's all about what have you done for me lately? Get it done right now. But that doesn't. It's not how it always works. Like it's just not how it's always going to work. So for me, ideally, I remember when they said Solder was going to be out, like when he said he wasn't playing. That immediately to me threw up a red flag for the Giants season because everyone just assumed, oh well, Solder was terrible anyways last year. Andrew Thomas can't be any worse. There's a big difference in Solder being hurt for most of 2019 and trying to overcome that than Andrew Thomas lacking complete experience. Like they have thrown, and you look at some of the guys that Andrew Thomas has had to go against this year. He's went against some talented players. So, for me, I think he's going to figure it out. I don't think he's Eric Flowers bad. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. For me, I just feel like he's going to figure it out, but it's going to take time, and it may take the whole damn season. But it's just something that the Giants fans are going to have they're going to have to swallow. And I wish some of the guys here on YouTube would understand that and be a part of that movement. But unfortunately, they're not. And so you get a lot of biased opinions here on YouTube that aren't realistic at all.
By the way, I want to thank you for that last time you went on Chris's channel and kind of told them all. That's what's up, man. I appreciate you when you did that because I can't stand that crowd over there. They piss me. I can't stand the way them youngins. Oh.
So you bring that up, and I kind of slowly hinted at that earlier because for some of the people that are in here may not remember that night, but I went over there and did challenge that crowd. And if you paid any attention in the comment section, everybody was calling me a clown. But the truth here's the thing, and this is not a shot at Chris the Entertainer at all, but there are some content creators who become yes men, okay, and they're yes men to their viewers and subscribers because at the end of the day, it's not really about the content, okay?
Well, they don't want their views to lose them subscribers.
They don't exactly. They like the numbers. They like all this and that. Me on the other hand, my channel is meant for my opinions and what I think is best. And if you like it, great. And I've never been a person that ever was against anybody else's other opinion, right? You could have came on here and said, "Hey, Pizzle, I think you're wrong about this," and we would have had a debate and discussion about it. I'm completely open to that. With that being said, when you go over to that crowd, and I don't know how Chris does it, but you go over to that crowd, that's a heavy tank for Trevor crowd over there. That's a heavy, they want blood every time something goes wrong crowd. They want Dave Gettleman gone. They want a tank for Trevor. You cannot run an organization. I'll give you a prime example. Mike Tomlin for the Steelers looked like 2 years ago that he was out as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. 2 years ago, if you go back and you look, the Steelers kind of looked like they were going downhill. But the truth about it is they were getting a lot of injuries. Ben wasn't exactly healthy, and they looked like they were slowly in decline. All of a sudden, and even last year, they were just kind of okay, but that's because they were missing Ben, right? They were down to like Duck Hodges as their quarterback, fifth string. And so they were just kind of okay. All of a sudden now, Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-0, right? I'm not out here to suck their dicks, but the point I'm saying is Mike Tomlin still was a good coach. But if you want to have the attitude just to give up because a few things have went wrong, and you want to hold everything that's been going on several years against our current regime, and you just want to cut everybody's head off every time something goes bad, that's not how good teams are built. Like
it's not.
That you have to have a foundation. Whether anybody likes it or not, the Giants, when Dave Gettleman showed up, Dave Gettleman said, okay, we're going to draft Saquon Barkley and we're going to make a run at it. We still have Eli. We're going to make a run. If you want to, the one thing I criticize Dave is Dave honestly didn't really have a plan when he got here. Because I don't think he really knew if he wanted to make a run or if he.
I think he was forced to have to draft and play it out the way he did by ownership. That's how I feel.
Okay, so but the point is when he first showed up, I don't know if he had a plan, and then he decided his plan was we're going to make a run at it.
Mm-hmm.
So he did. He tries to make a run, which I think 90% of Giant fans said, yeah, let's make a run. Let's go for it. Well, that backfired tremendously in our face, and it didn't work out. And then all of a sudden we started selling pieces, right? Olivier Vernon, Snacks. We started just selling people, Landon Collins. Like we started letting people go and selling pieces. At that point, we started our rebuild. And and here's the thing. What happened to Pat Shurmur has nothing to do with Joe Judge. People, for some reason, want to mix those two.
Yeah, I hear you.
You can't mix those two. You can't. You cannot mix a Pat Shurmur. Like, you can't hold what happened last year on Joe Judge. So, like, if Joe Judge's team is what his record is right now, he has nothing to do with what happened during Ben McAdoo's time period. Neither hardly does Dave Gettleman, right? I mean, Dave Gettleman wasn't even a part of some of that. So The fact is I look at our team objectively and I say, okay, I really like our defense right now. I like what they've done. I like that it's young. I like, they're not perfect by any means, but I like what's being built. I see some progress, right? I see, we went from an old defense, right, with Snacks, Olivier Vernon, a lot of old linebackers, Ogletree, a lot of old secondary players, to all. And when I say old, Anthony Bethea, right, Janoris Jenkins, these a lot of older players. And now I see like a young movement on our team, a lot of young players. We have some veteran players like Logan Ryan, but we have a lot of young players who are starting to try to figure things out. And that was, say again?
We haven't even seen McKinney yet.
We haven't even seen Xavier McKinney might be a superstar. We don't even know it. Right. The fact is this is being built. There's a process that has to take place in building it. Now, when I look on the offensive side of the ball, I say, okay, wait a minute. We got a new quarterback, right? He looks like a franchise player. We had a running back, and you can have an opinion about him or not, but the fact is he's hurt. And then I look at some of our other pieces, and I say, well, the OBJ thing kind of really screwed us because we went from having a really, probably potentially top 5 best receiver in the league to all of a sudden not having anything.
All right, but let me throw this at you, Pizzle. If that $20 million from Odell is still on the books, I get we really need another wide receiver right now. Is James Bradbury signed this last season?
What do you mean?
That $20 million on the books from Odell?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know exactly. I can't answer that. But
and then what's the defense look? Instead of Dexter Lawrence in there, now we got B.J. Hill in there all year. I mean, what's the defense look like?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Well, all I'm saying is like all the money that it ain't just the picks and players that we got from the Odell. It's also the money that we freed up is the way I look at it too.
But here's the thing: you have to take that and build. You have to take that process and start finding talent with it. And in fairness, I think what the Giants did, and the Giants did this offseason, they did it. They showed you in the draft because they spent most of their draft picks on linemen and the linebackers, right? Obviously, I know they got Xavier McKinney, but the fact is they spent most of it on the linemen. They have said, or the Giants organization have shown you, we are all in on right now fixing the defense. Okay, it's like if you had a home, right, and your bathrooms are fucked up and your kitchen's fucked up, right? We got to fix the bathrooms first so we can all take a shit, right? We can't shit in the kitchen. Okay, so the fact is
unless you had too much to drink.
Yeah, unless you had. So, but the fact is that John said, we have to fix one thing at a time. We have to figure that out. So they went to the most important thing, which in their eyes was the defense. They went and fixed the defense, and they have I think their thought process was, if we fix the offensive line, then that will fix a lot of things with the offense. However, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of talented playmakers at skill positions on the offensive side of the ball. For example, Evan Ingram has shown that he has talent, but he doesn't use the talent, right?
Does he have talent, though? I mean, is he just
athletic? Well, I mean, he makes some – I mean, look, even Tampa last year, he made an unbelievable play where he ran down the sideline and scored a big touchdown last year against Tampa. Those end-around handoff runs, there's no question that once he gets the ball in his hands, he can be flashy and make things happen. It's the process of the ball actually getting to his hands that is crazy. It's the process of him having to actually block somebody. That's crazy. It's the process of him actually creating separation so that we can throw the ball to him is a problem. There's just so many other things that are a problem that, yeah, once he has the ball in his hand, good things can happen. But there's a, you know what I'm saying? It's tough. So we don't have that tight end that we desperately need. We don't really have a number one receiver. I love Darius Slayton, but at the end of the day, he's a 5th round draft pick, so he really should be a really good number 2 receiver. And that's what he should be. Daniel's still trying to figure out, but Daniel's also got to try to figure it out with a very questionable offensive line in front of him.
Very questionable.
I mean, I don't care I don't care how tough you are. If you knew in the back of your mind that my left tackle may or may not block perfect for me on this next play, you would be a little shaky as well. And that's where Daniel's trying, in my opinion, against the Bear game, the Ram game,
Steelers,
maybe even the Steelers game. He tried to do too much.
Yep.
And
but we don't have a choice to do too much, because are we sniffing any close to winning them games without him doing it all by himself?
Well, that's where I've turned the corner on Daniel, because I had to change myself, because at the start of the year I was mad at Daniel, but I was also mad because of Eli. I was mad that they moved on from Eli. I thought Eli had one more year, and I wasn't ready to let the Eli go. And then I started to realize I need to stop being biased against Daniel because of Eli, and I need to judge Daniel on Daniel. And what's happened is I've came to the conclusion that I feel like Daniel is a really good player, and he's got a lot of good, and especially I'm going to tell you what has helped me turn the corner on him is his ability to have those 80-yard runs, right? Those abilities to all of a sudden, here's the RPO, and wow, like you have that in your game that a lot of quarterbacks don't have. Now, I don't know how long that lasts, right? Will he be able to do that in year 10? Probably not. But if he gets, it's funny because I want to see Daniel with some serious playmakers around him.
Me too. He just imagine like a DK Metcalf or something on this team.
DK,
right now.
or even a healthy OBJ. What would he have been like with OBJ? That to me is the $1 million question. Would him and OBJ been a great combination together? Because a lot of people blamed OBJ's failures on Eli Manning's inability to apparently throw the ball down the field.
And that wasn't fair at all.
That's not fair at all, because the offensive line wasn't giving Eli enough time to make that.
Even with the bad offensive line, I mean, OBJ was on record. His first 3 years, he was on record paces. So say what you want, but and then he was throwing. Absolutely. Then he was throwing. That's I couldn't see. That's where I couldn't get with Odell. Then he's throwing Eli under the bus.
But you said DK, like DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, right? Just name all the players that would be a nice receiver for Daniel, or anybody of that or even look. I hate to give them credit, but take the Cowboys receivers, right? Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Give him those weapons. What does Daniel Jones do with those guys?
Oh my God, he's probably putting up 3-4 touchdowns a game.
Who knows? So the fact is, I look at what we have right now. I try to be I try not to be so biased. I can't help it though, right? I'm very passionate and very loyal to the Giants. So I'm always going to say like, oh yeah, hell yeah, Golden Tate can get it done. But the truth is Golden Tate is probably very much on the back nine of his career. Very much. Done. Yeah, I mean, he could very well be done. Darius Slayton is making plays, but I don't know if Darius Slayton is a true number one receiver. CJ, they're talking about CJ Board may play tomorrow, but like CJ Board's been on multiple teams already. Like it's the fact is it's Sterling Shepard, right? We just finally came back, and that's what Sterling Shepard does. He misses multiple weeks every year. You can't get any chemistry with him. And so it's like there's nobody really reliable for Daniel to have. And so I've dropped back and said to myself, well, wait a minute. He doesn't, matter of fact, on top of it, what running game has Daniel had this year to help him?
Take out Daniel Jones' running yards. Take out Daniel Jones' rushing yards, and we're last in the league rushing by far.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The kids and the national media loves to stroke Lamar Jackson. Oh, they love Lamar Jackson. Oh, he's so flashy, so fast. Daniel Jones is that, with the ability to throw the ball, have a little bit more accuracy. That's the thing. I brought this up earlier. What would Daniel Jones do in the Ravens offense?
Oh, I don't know.
They've already shown, they already had the stats, and they've already shown or said, somebody said maybe it was ESPN, some stat said that Daniel Jones was the run against Philly was one of the fastest runs by a quarterback since, I can't remember, but the fact was it was he had shown that his speed was one of the best in the league for any quarterback. Somebody probably has that.
I think it was like the last 4 years or something since 2017.
But it was
something.
but the fact is, it was they had shown you like, wow, Daniel Jones has got some serious wheels. So
before last week, he clocked like out of the 7 fastest runs by anybody. Daniel Jones had like 3 of them was clocked at the three as high speeds out of the 7 top.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Lamar Jackson would have tripped and fell like Daniel did. But my point is
that could happen to anybody, though.
That could happen to anybody. I mean, the man's trying his ass off to get in the end zone, and that run was, to me, the exact was Daniel Jones's game all in a nutshell, because he has this great ability to make plays, but he's trying so hard that he ends up stubbing his toe and stumbling every now and then by throwing an interception in a key spot or trying to overcome the things that are around him. And look, I know a lot of people think that putting in a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, Chris's crowd believes this, is going to change everything, but that's not true at all.
It's not.
It's not true at all. If you watch the Clemson game yesterday,
he's not all what they're saying he is.
I think Trevor Lawrence is good. Don't get me wrong. I think, and look, he's a good-looking guy. He's got a look to him. I'm sure somebody will give him some silly name like Sunshine or whatever this bullshit. But the fact is that Clemson team is really good, like really good, and a lot of quarterbacks would look really good in that offense. So don't be blinded by what a good college team with 5-star recruits are going to do. I'll be honest.
In a big conference too.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That's the hardest thing for me to judge as a fan is to watch a college quarterback transition to the NFL, because I have a hard time asking myself, is this guy going to be really good in National Football League? Because it seems like to me, a lot of the good quarterbacks never really come from big schools. Some of them do. Like obviously Brady came from Michigan, right? But Drew Brees, he came from Purdue, right? I mean, Purdue's a Big Ten school, but it's not Ohio State. You know what I mean? So it's just to me, it's you never really know, and I think it takes.
It's not a guarantee. There's no.
It's not a guarantee. No, it's not. I don't think it's guaranteed at all. But I've seen Daniel Jones play enough to now say, okay, I think if we get some guys around him, he can be something. Look, I watched Eli Manning's whole career for the Giants, and I loved his game. I always thought that was the perfect type of quarterback for the Giants. That's what we needed. Somebody that wasn't going to make and Eli did make a lot of mistakes, but the fact is, we don't need our quarterback to be have this bravado like Mahomes or even Baker Mayfield, for example, right? Where it's like he's got this moxie. We don't need the Giants organization doesn't need that. New York doesn't need that. They don't need. I mean, it's just trouble. We need our quarterback to be quiet, not make a whole big scene, just go out there and do his job, right? I mean, you already seen they had the video come out where Daniel is supposedly partying without a mask on, right? Did you see with Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
He didn't even do anything. He was just being a young guy out having a good time, probably just trying to get laid. And just doing that was New York just went up in a roar, right? They're like, oh my God, he doesn't have a mask on. And the fact is if he was somebody that was out here grabbing his crotch or making a big scene like OBJ, for example, could you imagine the drama that would be with that? So
it'd be 24/7.
24/7.
Something.
So, I mean, New York has already shown that, and I'm just busting balls here per se, but they made Jeremy Lin, right, the Knicks player, when he had a couple good games. It's all Lin sanity, and it's like they're the only region of the country that for some reason loves to put like a nickname, like a Danny Dimes, give them all this type of pressure for no reason whatsoever, and try to make him out to be something that he's not. And the truth is, we just need him to be a stable young man and just do his job. We don't need.
Do you think Daniel Jones is feeling the pressure? Do you think he's what's kind of hurting him this year is worried about the turnovers? Are you getting that feeling?
I think Daniel Jones is feeling the pressure, and I think that it's not. I think that the pressure is unnecessary.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. And I think New York. I'm a believer. Like and again, I'm a sports fan. I like a lot of sports. I like baseball. I like basketball. I think a lot of what issues that face New York sports franchises is because of the fan bases. They put so much pressure on these teams to succeed. And the fact is, they can't even, like the Yankees, for example, they crumble in the postseason every single time because the pressure is just enormous for them. It's too much. And and don't get me wrong, you're going to play in a big city. You got to make things happen. But I just feel like a lot of times you're making the situation worse than it really needs to be. Let Daniel figure the game out, and just maybe we end up having a superstar. And if you want to go out here and run him out of town, like for example, the Chris crowd with the Tank for Trevor crowd, right? If you want to do that, all you're doing is creating another vicious cycle, because the Jets are going through it right now with Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Sam Darnold.
Some people were saying he was the best prospect they've seen in 10 years.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody. Oh, he's another Andrew Luck out of USC. He's going to be amazing. He's going to be this. He's going to be that. The Jets look like they're ready to move on from him. Like,
they are. It's over. It's over there.
It's over. And it's like, wait a minute, like it's just over. Like, so the fact is, it's like, if you want to be the Jets, if Giant fans want to be the Jets, you would continue to do this.
Exactly. Yep. You got it.
Complete nonsense.
The Browns did it for the last decade. Think of all them quarterbacks. Every 2 years, they're cycling a new one.
They've done it for you're exactly right. And I understand that, like, you get the quarterback and all of a sudden, the problem is when the Cardinals, for example, the Cardinals just did it with Kyler Murray, right? Where they drafted Rosen and they said, screw it, we'll go with Murray. You don't know for sure, and don't get me wrong, Kyler Murray's been a good player, but you don't know for sure yet that the longevity plan of that is going to work.
Well, they also brought in the right coach. That was a big part. And they got the kid weapons. They brought in weapons.
They did. You're right. They went out and got Hopkins. Yeah, you're exactly right. The fact is and so that proves the point right there is weapons matter. Coaching matters. Like, it's not just one player. So again, the one thing I worry about Daniel is his confidence going to get busted up by the media, by the fan base, and by the fact that he doesn't have enough talented players around him? A quarterback can only take – Deshaun Watson is a good example to me in Houston, where I think he's a great young quarterback, but he has no weapons around him for the Texans. And the Texans have been awful this year. And I don't think it's any surprise that it's because their offense has what happened. They lose Hopkins, and all of a sudden their offense is a complete non-existence. And you still got a great young quarterback there that they're going to have to rebuild around. So the fact is, I think a lot of it has to do with talented players around you. And the Giants, like I said, you could only fix one thing at a time. And that one thing for them, I felt like, was the defense in the offseason. And maybe Dave's plan was like, look, if I can just try to, put some wins together here this season, I've got a new young coach. They'll give me one more offseason to try to fix the offense now. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd like to see it, but I don't think it's going to be tough. But that's the thing. It's like the noise. Yeah, the ownership, the fans. You can't do that. You can't do that and be a successful team. And that's one thing about Merritt that worries me, because I think what he has done is allowed the fan base, and not all of them are wrong, but he's allowed the fan base in a lot of ways to control what happens. I mean, I didn't love Ben McAdoo. I didn't. But they went to the playoffs his very first year as a head coach.
Well, they could have done that with Coughlin too. Pushing out
They could have.
Coughlin made no sense, and then to go with McAdoo. But we don't even got to get into that.
They could. I mean, look, I looking back on it, I do feel like that was a tremendous mistake for the Giants.
Yep.
Was to move on from Coughlin, and I was on, and looking back on that, in fairness, I was on the. I had started to think that Coughlin had lost something.
Me too. Yeah.
In fairness, so I'll eat crow on that. But looking back on it, I don't think that was the right decision. Looking back, going that far back, McAdoo goes to the playoffs first year, and then the very second year, right, we have a disastrous season, and we move on from him. And I was obviously moving on from him because of what he did to Eli. He benched him for Geno, and I said, "Okay, you're going to do that. I'm done with you." And
they lost a locker room. You can't keep a coach.
You're exactly. But I think the reason why he lost the locker room, looking back on it, was because of they had a lot of outspoken players.
Yeah,
like OBJ, like Landon Collins,
DRC,
Jenkins. They had that was a tough ass locker room to even think about managing, and the result of it was McAdoo was gone. And then here's where you can't ever tell Giant fans this because I don't think they can understand. I'm not so sure they had a plan because I don't think Pat Shurmur was a legit hire. It just doesn't, the way that came together, it came a little late. It just didn't seem like he was the right guy. It just feels like what they had left, what was left over, what was the best option at the time. And I think when they got Pat, they crossed their fingers and said, well, I hope this works. And in fairness to him, they gave him a second year. And then they realized, look, this was not even remotely what we wanted.
Yeah, but he had no chance of winning here. That's what I didn't get about it.
No, he didn't. You're right. He didn't have any.
They shouldn't even hired him in the first place if they were going to fire him the way they did.
You're right. He didn't. But I think the reason why they ended up firing him and getting a guy like Joe Judge, whether they wanted Matt Rule or Matt Rule cost too much or whether they wanted Judge, nobody will give you the real answer on that. But I think their opinion of it at that time was, we're getting a guy that we really want. And they never really wanted Pat Shurmur. We don't know that for sure. But
yeah, Gettleman was more influential on the Shurmur, and the ownership was more influential on hiring Judge. Is the way I
believe. I could see that. I could see that being a possibility. Yes. A lot of people, and we're gonna say one more thing because I gotta.
Yeah.
But
I've been holding up, man. Thank you.
No, that's fine. No, it's fine. It's been good. I will say this, that the one problem that I have with the Giants fan base, and a lot of people on YouTube that even follow my channel or follow Chris's channel or follow Bad Dog's channel or follow anybody's channel here on YouTube, they have to have somebody's head every single time.
Yep.
And for many years, it was they wanted Eli's head. Or, obviously we chopped off Jerry Reese's head. We chopped off Tom Coughlin's head. We've went on with the Ben McAdoo and the Pat Shurmurs and the Eli. We've cut off people's head every year and blamed somebody and said, okay, I just don't know how many more heads we're going to have to cut off before we realize we just need to build something strong first before we go and cut somebody's head off. You know what I'm saying? So to me, removing Dave Gettleman when clearly there is something good happening, like for example with the defense. There is something good happening. Whether you see it or not, something good is happening. To me, just knocking off his head is not going to necessarily change the thing. Knocking off Daniel Jones's head to put in Trevor Lawrence or to tank for whoever, that's not going to fix anything. To me, it continues to have to be a slow build. And I think we've been a little bit fortunate because the NFC East isn't very good. And so that helps. Yeah. But, man, I just don't know. Again, I think I said this earlier before I started talking to you. I'm not ready to make my final decision on Dave Gettleman. I'll know more at like week 15, week 16, week 17.
I hear that.
John's opinion. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
you want to plug your channel real fast?
Giant Opinion Sports. I make giant videos. There ain't much to say. I just came here to talk to you. I don't care about a plug, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, have a good night, Pizzle. Thank
you too, brother. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're gonna get one more guy, and I got to do it because he was good earlier. Go ahead, Sox Arizona. What you got? Now, are you off work now?
Yeah, I'm off work.
What do you really want to say?
Well, you know what?
I'm gonna let you close the show tonight.
Well, I appreciate that very much. You had a lot of good points in your last conversation, comparing the stats from Daniel Jones to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like what would he be in that offense? You know, the play call is obviously a little bit different.
Yeah,
a lot more
the team
RPO.
the team is completely different.
Yeah, the team's a lot different. And another good point you had was, what about going to get a wide receiver like a DK Metcalf? Why don't we bring somebody in like that? I think that's an instant game changer for our offense. We find ourselves in like second and long, third and long, and need somebody we can go to. They shut down Darius Slayton, and it's like, cool, we got Gallman coming out of the backfield. Great. It is officially game day where you are. It is not game day here yet, but I just want to bring a little energy for the channel. Monday Night Football, we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It is going to be a good game, and luckily the NFC least is keeping the pace for us. So I cannot believe we have a shot at 1-6 to get back in this race, but here we are. I wanted to get your thoughts on if we are going to bring in any defensive or offensive weapons. Realistically, who do you think that might be?
Well, I mean, they talked about the Kenny Galladay thing, and I actually kind of thought, I was like, man, if that was really to happen, you know, I don't think it's going to happen, but I was like, man, that would actually be a good thing if it could happen. Like, that would be awesome. It won't happen until the offseason for me.
Okay.
Like, I don't think that there's any, I think the Giants have got what they've got right now. And that's frustrating because obviously we're a few pieces away on either side of the ball. So for me, though, I think, you know, the Giants spent so much time with their offensive line and linebacking core in the last year's draft. I feel like this upcoming draft or even in free agency, we're going to attack that receiver position. So if we're able to do that and are able to get those players, if you just put a couple pieces around Daniel Jones, I think he becomes a better player. Look, all I'm asking is, if you're a Giants fan and you have a strong opinion about Daniel Jones, just take the player you've seen and put him with another team. Put him on this team. Put him on that team. And ask yourself, would he be just as good of the quarterback as that team? So I'll give you a prime example. I think the Saints have a pretty good team right now, right? They're okay. But Drew Brees is struggling due to his arm strength right now. At least, you know, a lot of people are saying like he's his arm, you know, he's done. Would Daniel Jones right now improve their team as a quarterback? Would the Saints all of a sudden, with the weapons that they have, would they become an instant better team just with Daniel Jones? So all I'm saying is, would the Bears be a better offense if they had Daniel Jones at info? The fact is take him, put him with a different team, and ask yourself, would he be as good or would he improve that team? I think Daniel Jones is what he is because of the weapons that the Giants have around him. That's just my honest opinion. I mean, if I felt like we had better playmakers around him, and a lot of it has to do with Evan Ingram not being any good. He stinks. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Shepard's never healthy. Golden Tate's over the hill. Darius Slayton is trying his best. We don't have a running game. We're trying to get a running game. We don't even have – I mean, right now we really honestly don't even have a running – we don't even know who our number one running back is. Saquon just had surgery. Freeman's been okay. Gallman looked really good last game. So we don't even know who really our running back is. And anybody that says that we know the future of that, we don't really know because you don't know how Saquon Barkley's going to come back from injury. You honestly don't know.
Right.
You would like to be positive, but you don't know if he's going to come back and be the same player. So for me, it's like, man, we have to get some weapons around Daniel before we just completely run him out of town.
Okay.
Because if we run him, I mean, think about it. I guarantee you, if we quote unquote tanked for somebody and got a quarterback, Daniel's going to go somewhere else. And if he goes to somewhere else and let's say he
He has
flourishes,
too much potential. He has too much potential to show. He can't sit on the bench somewhere.
that's what I'm saying. Like if he goes somewhere and he flourishes, how stupid do we look?
Right.
I mean, OBJ. In fairness, OBJ, and I don't get me wrong. I'm not happy that he got hurt last week and he's out for the season. But OBJ has not went to Cleveland and flourished. I don't think. Do you?
I mean, don't you think if any offense with Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, don't you think they would be the one to thrive, especially in that?
Yeah, you would think so. But there was a lot of Giant fans, and of course, none of them have even pro for this. But there were a lot of Giant fans that thought that, oh God, we're going to look like fools when he goes to Cleveland, and all of a sudden he's helping them win a bunch of games, and he looks. OBJ's done nothing in Cleveland. I mean, there was literally a point this season, like I forgot, like, oh shit, he's in Cleveland. I forgot all about it. Like, forgettable. So my point is Giant fans were terrified about OBJ going somewhere else and just flourishing. Yeah. For me, I would be terrified if Daniel Jones left the Giants, went somewhere else, and just became a superstar.
Exactly.
It would make us look like utter fools. And I'm not saying that we should waste year after year because we don't want to look like a fool. But the fact is I think Daniel Jones could be a talented player or a talented quarterback if he had the right pieces around him. I don't think he has the right pieces around him.
Exactly. And how foolish would we look if we get rid of him for a college kid in the year that Saquon got injured? So he literally has no options, and that's after we get rid of all the defensive weapons and Odell Beckham. So we're just going to get rid of Daniel Jones and say, hey, maybe the next guy will change us.
Well, again, and this is why I get so upset at some of the content creators that accept this nonsense or accept this even just stupidity, because if you cut his neck and you bring in the college kid and he starts stumbling his foot after the first or second, you're just going to keep the vicious cycle going? You're just going to say, oh, well, I will tank for the next guy. How many years do we want to tank until we just figure it out? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with taking your quarterback you got and trying to figure it out and building your team around his skill set? You spent a high draft pick on him already. Build the team around him. Try to make it work. Look, the fact is, I love Eli Manning. Eli Manning is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever that the Giants will ever have. He won his first Super Bowl in year 4. Okay? So you got to give him, to me, you got to give Daniel 4 to 5 actual real seasons. Eli Manning became a different player when you gave him Plaxico Burress.
Absolutely. You
got to give Daniel Jones his Plaxico Burress.
Absolutely, and even
you got to give Daniel Jones his Brennan Jacobs, his Ahmad Bradshaw's. You got to give him those guys before you truly can say, "Yep, I can judge him now. He's not that good."
Right, and obviously you want to keep up with the offenses in the NFL, but maybe getting that guy for him, maybe getting a defensive guy, maybe getting a pass rusher like Michael Strahan that can get that other offense off the field.
Not only that, but you cannot build your team that plays in New Jersey the same way you build your team that plays in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
You can't build those teams similar. You know, we have to. This is another thing. This is why running the football and playing good defense is so important, because you have to use your area in which you play to your advantage. The fact is, if you're going to have a team in the northeastern part of the country, more than likely late in the second half of the season, you're going to play in bad weather games. That's why this past week or two, when they asked Joe Judge, why are you practicing in the rain? And he's like, well, we're preparing for those situations. No shit. Like, why the hell would you want your team to be in a bubble when they could take advantage of practicing in the rain? Like, that's just common sense. And so that's why another reason why I love Joe Judge, because he actually has common sense. But the fact is, like, you have to have, if you're going to root on a team, if you're going to root on a team that plays in the northeastern part of the country, you would want your team to be built to play in that part of the country. That's just facts. And if you can't handle that, you need to go root for another team somewhere else. But the fact is, the Giants actually, in history, if you look back at all the quarterbacks that won Super Bowls for the Giants, they're not spectacular number one quarterbacks. Like that's not what has won Super Bowls for the Giants anyway. So the fact is we have to play good defense, which I think we are playing good defense right now. We got to figure out how to run the football. That's what we need to do in order to win games. So anyways,
I agree. And you saw that this week, especially today. Today was the first week there was some inclement weather like around the whole NFL. You saw, I mean, especially in fantasy, nobody was putting up points today. People are dropping balls. People are putting the ball on the ground. And not only, like you said,
I'll give you a great example. I watched some of the Raiders Cleveland Brown game today, right? They had some awful wind conditions there.
Yep.
I mean, the kickers couldn't kick, they couldn't pass, they couldn't do anything. But the Raiders won the game because they were the more physical team.
Right.
They could run the football so much better than the Browns, and they won that game for just being physicality. So the fact is you want these flashy, everybody, most of them on Chris's channel, they want these flashy, shiny objects, shiny quarterbacks. But the reality is there are going to be a lot of days where that part of the country, you're not going to be able to use that shiny object.
Yeah.
That's why OBJ isn't always going to work.
Right.
It's not because you can't most of the time you're not going to always be able to pass the ball. Now, obviously, the league has been building a lot of dome stadiums, but that's why I was so happy when the Giants didn't build a dome stadium or cover, because you could use those elements against the other team.
Not only that, but I mean, obviously in that part of the country, the weather gets inclement, but how many times during a playoff run do you see somebody have to go to Green Bay where it's 5 degrees outside? I mean, we had Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
I thought his face was going to fall off in 2007, 2008. You know what I mean?
The reason we won that game alone was because of the physicality of our team during that time.
Absolutely.
The physicality of our defense,
go in there.
physicality of our running game. That's because those teams literally were Giants football to the T. Absolutely. Sox, Arizona, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely. You are a rock star. You said earlier, someone said you inspired them to make YouTube videos. I am a huge Giants fan, but I'm also a huge Red Sox fan, and you inspired me to make Red Sox videos, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Did you finally get home from work?
I finally got home from work, man. I'm going down to Phoenix for training for. I just got promoted to a manager, so I'm going to be down there for training. We're going to be
congratulations.
The Bucks game tomorrow night. Let's go get Tom Brady. How about that, huh?
That's right, man. Let's go get it, man. I appreciate you joining me.
Absolutely. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
See you, brother. Man, just a great stuff. All right. I hope you guys like the stream. I appreciate you joining, hanging out with Piz. I went 2.5 hours. Watched the Eagles beat the Cowboys. So many great people come on to chat. Giants Opinion Sports, Sox Arizona, some more great ones. Just appreciate you guys joining and hanging out. And, tomorrow night's a big one, man. Playing the Tampa Bay Bucks. Really want it. Really want to have it. Man, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. You guys get some Giant fans. Y'all get some rest. Tomorrow, might have us a dub. Okay? See you guys tomorrow night.